So, you can see the despair in Harry Talltree's face. He kneels beside her corpse and looks around at each of you.
Gonna sit. I'm gonna try to sit my brother like farther away, and I'll go towards the body, and I'll just kneel down and I'm sorry you had to come with us. I'm sorry you didn't listen. This is not what I wanted. My brother's life is not worth yours.
Do you say that out of earshot of Gerald?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, put him away.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
No one's life is worth another. And I'll just get up and go sit with him.
Eric, probably, as I mentioned last game, I don't think it was forgotten, but he's definitely embracing getting this dark, this shadow point. I mentioned, Eric goes over to the troll and lops off a toe and says, "I'm going to avenge you, Ruby." So he's a troll hunter now. Tarek the troll hunter.
Zurich will go take a knee next to Ruby's body to show respect, but he does not let Nori out of his sight. So he's going through the motions, but his attention is on our dwarf.
You see Nari, he looks thin. I mean, for dwarf, you could tell he used to be a plumper side as at one point, but he looks bone thin now. The skin's almost kind of hanging off his face. Clearly, he has not eaten or been outside of this cave for quite some time. His gaunt, sunken eyes, but you can still see genuine sadness on his face as he takes his cap in hand and just kind of looks at Ruby with a mournful look on his face.
I think I will mention something that Eucaliel is thinking but does not say. When she sees Turk make his display, she remembers what happened and how she saw Ruby leaving the cave and Turk ran past her, pretty much called her a coward and told her to come back in. And I saw them both turn and run into the cave, and I don't say any of that. That's just because Eucaliel knows this is not the time for that sort of a confrontation. But I do come over to Ruby's body and sort of like gently kneel down and give her, like, I don't know the specific words, but sort of like I will say an elven farewell of just like speaking in Quenya, just kind of like wishing her soul a good journey, knowing that it's not going the same place that I would be going.
All right. as you whisper these elvish words to Ruby, you can see Harry kind of look up at you for a brief moment, and you can see thanks in his eyes as you say this, and you can see tears welling up in them.
I nod solemnly to him and then back up, allowing the small folk some more time.
I'm going to walk up to Harry and sort of lean in and hug on his, massive forearms as he's leaning down, and just say that, we have no less to give than anyone else. A fight for our home is just as important to us. A fight for our family is just as important to us. And we'll pay the same price that you would.
He takes the hand that you rested on his arm, and he just kind of, this massive hand, about twice the size of yours at least, just kind of rests gently on yours, and he nods in acknowledgement at your words. And with that, he looks up and across each of you and says, "She must be brought home. She must be laid to rest with her family and her friends. She must be brought back to the Shire. She was slain. And you can see him choke back tears when he says this. She was slain in the Chetwood under my protection. I shall bring her home."
Thank you, but know that you did everything you could to protect her. Her death does not rest entirely on your shoulders.
Thank you for your kind words. But this does not take away from the fact that she died in my woods. And what of you little ones? Will you come with me?
Gerald will. He'll come with you. But I fear we're not much, but I think we're onto something bigger than us, and she's not the first one, and she won't be the last one. It's not just us that's at stake anymore. It's bigger, and if we can help, I said I would help. And Ruby said she would help too. So Gerald will come with you.
Gerald just kind of scrambles when you say these things, and he says,
Put my hand on his shoulder and pop him down. Take your ass down. Had to go to break. That's all you had to do.
But Goldie, you gotta come home. I came all this way for she died to bring you home. What am I going to tell Ma? What am I going to tell Pa? They'll have my hide if they know that you're still wandering out here with trolls about.
It is not just about Ma and Pa and us, and it's not. Look what they did to us. We're no one. We're just little hobbits. What's gonna happen next time? That it's not just gonna be Ruby. What if instead of staying in the chatwood, they come home? They've already tried to. Who says that they're not gonna come further? Our bravery should not be just, I don't know. What Ruby did, it's no one's responsibility that she died. She knew what she was doing. She knew the dangers. We're not going to take away from her bravery. So do I. And you're going to go home and you're going to protect them. That's your job.
Can you make a check for me, please?
I don't know. We'll see.
This might affect the check, but I think after hearing that conversation, Eucaliel is going to speak up and just say, and she's not going to be wandering alone. There are many of us here to protect her.
Go ahead and make that persuasion check with advantage, please, Goldie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He pauses for a moment as he looks at you. A mixture of fear, concern, but also pride. And he takes a step forward, if you let him up.
Yeah.
Okay. He gets up, takes a step forward, and places one hand on your shoulder and looks you straight in the eye and says, "You know, of all the Glenda Weirs, I knew you would be the one. You're the bravest of us all."
Well, I had to be. You guys were always beating my ass up, so you did a good job. And I'll hug him.
He hugs you back very hard. In the meantime, Harry's looking over at the rest of the hobbits. Turk, Marigold. "And what of you, too? Will you stay, continue on with your journey, or return to the Shire with me?" Like the
Mr. Taltree, like Goldie said, this won't be the last. And that's exactly why we can't go back. That's what we're striking out for. We're trying to make this the last, and if we don't, there's no one else to do it. We can't stop now. We can't turn around now. And it's like in the stories, we're fated. We have to be somewhere else. We have to be going out and striking out and doing what is right, not just for us or our family, but the Shire and Bree and all of it.
Whereas just a day ago, Harry would have likely argued with you vehemently that this is no place in the world for hobbits. his opinion of you has changed remarkably since then. And when you say these words, he just nods. So who am I to get between a hobbit and their quest?
You're a fine man and the guardian of the Chetwood. And you're doing what's right for what you care for. And you're making that little pilgrimage back to our tiny corner and giving her family their daughter back.
Very well, then. It is decided. Gerald and I will return to the Shire with Ruby. And where will the rest of you go now? You must be careful that from the tracks I see here, there are still at least 2 other trolls about, and there are the footsteps of men as well. Perhaps those who pass themselves off as rangers. And then he looks to you, Mython, and he gets up and walks over to you. And for a brief moment, you think he's going to punch you. And he just looks, he has this angry look on his face as he approaches you, stern, very stern and serious. But as he approaches you, he pulls you into an enormous bear hug and says, I was wrong to doubt you, Ranger. Please accept my apologies.
Apology accepted. Could you please loosen up a bit?
And he drops you to the ground. Because in this bear hug, he'd lift you a good half foot off the ground as he braced
Which
you.
is extraordinary because he's 6.5 feet tall.
Yeah, and Harry's about just under 7 feet too. So yeah, you guys are giants. A couple of giants in the forest here. He says, that sword used to belong to a great man, but I see it's in good hands now. If you ever do cross paths with him, though, tell Terry Mac that he still owes me a pint.
I shall.
So shall you be heading east, then?
We need to pick up the trail again.
Yeah, Mython will glance over at Eucaliel and say, I believe so.
Yes, if possible, we need to catch up to the schoolmistress and this dwarf's brother. And I kind of look over at Nari.
Harry just kind of gives Nari a quick side eye and says, so this dwarf is familiar to you then?
By association. We've never met him before, but we've certainly had more than enough time with his brother.
Harry walks over.
Important that we reunite these two as quickly as possible.
Harry walks over to Nari, and Nari just sees this towering man approaching him, and just kind of, you can see him shrink even more. So by the time they're standing next to each other, it looks like Nari's up to his knees almost only. And Harry bends down, and he looks sternly into Nari's face and says, so what would 2 dwarves from the Blue Mountains be doing wandering around my woods? In troll territory, no less. Nari just has big eyes staring up at Harry and kind of looks around at the rest of you and says, I ain't no threat. Me brother and I were just looking for treasure. We were told that there was a hoard of gold under this here tower. And we were obviously sadly mistaken, and well, I got caught, and it looks like my brother got away.
It's a shame he didn't come back for you.
Well, I'm sure he would have if he could. Last thing I heard him yell is he was going to get some help. You know Jari then?
Yes.
Then you know he's an honest dwarf, as honest as they come. He would do anything for me. He'd do anything for our family.
Showed up in Bree, making some claims.
Did he enlist you to find and rescue me?
We helped you, didn't we?
You did indeed, but where's my brother? Is he back in Bree then still?
We need to get you two back together. We're trying to find him also.
Oh, father, he's missing?
Yes.
He looks a little crestfallen at that news. Yes. I do hope the trolls didn't get him too.
There's only one way to find out.
And it's lucky that you folk came and rescued me when you did, because that troll down there, he's about to smash me into pulp and have me for dinner, but there were others too.
How many trolls live here?
Oh, just the one, but he does have two brothers, and they kept saying that they're looking for someone, looking for something, and they enlisted some folk to help draw people here. It was a trap, you see. We were told that there were gold here, and that's why we came. We wouldn't have come for any other reason.
What were they looking for?
That I don't know. They were just saying Mother would be very upset if they don't find it soon.
So the gold you were seeking is not here?
There ain't no gold here, no, sir. It was a trap.
I bet your brother knows where it is.
You think? Then there's still hope.
That's why it's so important that we find him.
You see, we need that gold. Our father's in a bit of a pickle, you see. He's been, I don't know what a better word would be, but enslaved by a merchant not so nice. He travels the Great East Road, back between Bree and the Misty Mountain and beyond, peddling his wares, and well, it seems as though my father has become indebted to him over the years, and now has enslaved him and us along with him. And we were hoping that with this treasure we would be able to buy our freedom. But now there is no gold.
What do you call this debt master of yours?
Give me one moment. I'll find his name. Make sure I get this in. Just get this right. Mirabar. I'll put that in alchemy so you guys can see how it's spelled.
If this is a person that's been passing between Bree and the Misty Mountains, do the elves of Rivendell, are they familiar with that individual?
Go ahead and make a lore check, or hold on, what's the right thing? It's been a while.
Old lore? Or
Would be it useful here? It would probably be old lore
okay.
or riddle. I'll let you do riddle too.
Ooh, let's see. Are they both the same for me? They're both the same for me. I was so looking forward to finally being able to use riddle, but I'm just gonna stick with old lore for now. Okay. Old lore. Of course.
No, there are a number of merchants these days that travel the Great East Road. Fewer than there have been in the past, simply because of the uptick in activity of trolls and orcs and whatnot. But it is a pretty well traveled route. It's the main route between, for example, Bree and Eriador and the lakelands of on the other side of the Misty Mountains. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
So let me get this straight. You want to retrieve the gold, pay off your father's debt?
exactly, and buy our freedom, me, my brothers, so we could return. I don't know where. My father talked about returning perhaps to the Blue Mountains, or maybe even trying to make a claim in the Misty Mountains. There's talk of reopening Moria. Or maybe making our way all the way to Erebor. But none of that will happen now with no treasure and Jari missing now.
We'll find them and we will return to the Blue Mountains. Make them great again.
He lights up at that suggestion, but it just kind of gives you a weak smile. I'd just be happy to find my brother again.
So will I.
I think
Hair-
Eucalia will... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I think Eucalia will turn to Harry and say, for us to begin our journey east, we'll need to reunite with our transportation, which we left in Staddle, I believe. Can you show us the best way of getting to Staddle from here? And then we can part ways?
I will accompany you through the Chetwood, guide you to Staddle, the fastest and safest way there. And then from there, I will strike westward for the Shire.
Of course.
And with that, he takes off his massive cloak and wraps up Ruby's body in it. Takes a little bit of rope to tie it together. And ever so reverently, he picks her up and carries her like a child in his arms, and guides you southward out of the Chetwood. Is there anything else you'd like to do before you go?
It's one thing. It's a minor detail, but I wanted to see, like, before we leave this clearing area, if there were any any flowers that I could find? I mean, more specifically, if I could find flowers that were associated with, like, you know, funereal things, that's great. But just in general, flowers, so that I can, like, pluck one and place it um, with her wrapped body before we leave this area, because I know, like, in the woods, that's going to be harder to find.
Sure. Go ahead and make a nature or survival check.
Okay, let's see.
No, survival here should be hunting. You're hunting for flowers.
Thankfully, I'm better at nature. Okay.
Turk takes a moment to a memento within the wrapping.
What memento would that be?
Well, he really doesn't carry very much with him. He's got a hard life. He takes his straw hat. It's his straw hat with
Harry, when he sees you donate your hat to Ruby in her memory, he looks at you and says, "That is a great gift. I'm sure she would appreciate that."
Thank you, Harry.
And you do find some appropriate flowers, Eucalio.
All right. If I can find enough for a flower crown, I would give a flower crown. But if not, just, a single or a small bouquet is fine.
No, it's a 16. You have enough to create a small, either like a nice little wreath or a bouquet, whatever you prefer.
Mm-hmm.
And Harry picks up the walking staff that Ruby carried with her and just kind of lays that across her body as he carries her forward. And you make your way south to Staddle. It will take you the rest of the day to get there. So by the evening of that day, you arrive back in town. At this point, though, Harry turns to you. This is where we part ways. I will make for Bree tonight and tomorrow on to the Shire. Be safe in your journey. These roads are not what they once were.
You as well, and I hope we see each other again in better circumstances.
As do I. And Gerald rushes up to you, Goldie, and gives you another big hug and just kind of whispers in your ear, "Now you be safe, Goldie." And he passes you his little hunting knife. Like, consider it a dagger. It's just nothing magical, nothing crazy, just, but it's his. And he gives that to you and says, "Now you be careful now. And come back to us."
Make sure Mom and Dad don't go crazy. Make sure the kids stay in track. And I'll give him back that broken pipe that I found. That was his.
And he looks at the broken pipe and he visibly looks crestfallen. "I was hoping to have a nice puff of weed on the way home, but I guess it'll have to wait a couple days. Thank you."
Make it home.
He gives you a little bit of a salute, and he goes around to each of you, gives each of you a vigorous handshake and a bow, and says, Thank you Thank you so much for saving me. Safe travels. And keep my sister safe, please. And Harry and Gerald head off westward into the sunset towards Bree, leaving you in Stadel, where you have I believe you left your horse and your repaired cart at the Lamplighter Inn.
Yes, I think that's what we did.
Okay. So do you want to head out immediately that night, or do you want to stay the night here?
Could we get a few hours before we had to make camp if we didn't want to go the whole night, or is it too close to nighttime, like full nighttime?
No, you have time. You have a few hours of light before night falls.
Then I think Eucaliel would suggest that we head out immediately to try to make up time.
I agree.
If you bring up your map of... Oh, do you have a map? Oh, no. Oh, okay, I didn't share it with you. Give me a second. Let me just take a quick look at this.
Nice map.
Oh, sorry, I've been on mute all this time. Stadel is 1 hex east of Bree, where it says the hex that says Bree. Stadel is 1 hex east of it. So
What should I be seeing right now?
oh, sorry, in your handouts, if you look in the player journey map.
And player journey. Thank you. Okay, got it.
Yeah, you might need to scroll out and scan, like pan about a bit to center things. But you can see Bree. Stadel is 1 hex to the east of Bree. By the time night falls, you'll basically be due south of the Midgewater Marshes. You can travel by cart roughly, I think it's 2 hexes a day. Okay.
And only keeping to the road.
As long as you keep to the road, yeah.
But honestly, with the cart, keeping to the road is the fastest we can manage. Like if we go off the road, we're going to just start slowing down.
Yeah, then you're down to 1 hex a day. And if you're going through something like a forest or a marsh, then it's down to like 1 hex every 2 days.
Right.
All right.
And do we think that they were traveling at about the same speed? Although they had out before us.
That's correct, because they had a cart and the horse.
Yeah.
So I believe they have at least a day and a half ahead of you.
Okay.
You have the option to do like a forced march to push
Yeah.
yourself to try and gain ground. But you'll have to be making some exhaustion checks and stuff. So
Question. Would we be able to, at least for the short term, do something like shifts of driving, in the sense that, like, I know Eucaliel only needs 4 hours of rest. So if she, not this time, but like in future days, if she rested sometime during the day and then when others went to sleep, she continued the journey for a while and then people started like switching off, would we still be exhausted from resting in the back of the cart?
It's more a
Not
matter of the horse.
the horse, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. The horse.
You could travel faster and leave breadcrumbs for us to follow.
That's true, but that schoolmistress is dangerous. I don't really think there's anything that one of us can do if they go
Well,
ahead.
you'll be fine. Just stay hidden.
We also only have the one horse, right?
That's correct.
Like
Yeah.
that's what the cart is hooked up to. So then everyone would be on foot. We'd abandon the cart.
hmm
Hmm. I mean, if we could manage to get ahead to Rivendell and draw people out to stop them, that might be a possibility, but I don't know if that's, again, that's riding all through the night or something. The horse would get exhausted. I don't know. I think we'll just have to
But
hope for the best.
What about our winged friend?
Yeah, I
Scout?
could try to send him as a messenger to see if I could, because he knows where Rivendell is. Either he can scout to try to see where they are, or he can head all the way to Rivendell and try to get some of the guardians of Rivendell to, like, come out and try to intercept them. Because we're assuming they're trying to get to, like, the Misty Mountains or something, right?
They're heading that direction.
Yeah. So, but I don't know how much faster he flies. I mean, he goes as the raven flies, but
Yeah, I mean, so you see how the Great East Road kind of curves northward for a bit before it hits the last
Mhm.
bridge. Your Raven could
Yeah.
fly straight, and maybe by a day or two that by taking the shortcut.
Yeah, that could work. I wouldn't be against it if that's what everybody wants to do.
Well, time's wasting. Let's hit the road. I'll sleep in the back of the cart. Wake me up when it's morning.
You sound like
I
Jari.
I will go ahead and write like a short missive to whoever's in charge of, like, the guard at Rivendell, because that's where I worked. So I'm assuming I know who's in charge there.
It would likely be one of Elrond's sons.
Okay. So I will pen a quick missive to one of them, just saying, like, just that, there's a woman and a dwarf heading in the direction of the Misty Mountains. Well, actually, no, it would be two women and a dwarf heading in the direction of the Misty Mountains. We're in pursuit. They have one of our horses, and to detain them if at all possible. And I will kind of, like, attach it or hand it to Vandal and just ask him to fly as quick as he can home and to whichever of the guard captains.
All right. Who would you say is doing. I'm going to actually say it's going to be Mython because he's the ranger, doing ranging stuff. You're most familiar with this area, most familiar with the possible threats and what to watch for, how to stay on the road, all that stuff. Look for any telltale traces of activity beyond what's normal. So I'm going to have Mython make a travel check for me, please.
Okay, I believe I get some kind of bonus to that. One moment.
I think this is because this is in your area. I think you get advantage? Or yeah,
Proficiency bonus is doubled.
Okay, so you get expertise. Okay.
Yeah. So that would be adding another +2 to the result.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. And what's the skill?
Travel,
you said
please.
Travel. Okay.
You guys need a new ranger, man. That's
Maybe they should have sent that other ranger that they wanted to send. No, it's fine.
oh,
Just a little foggy out today.
All right. So what you do manage... Sorry, go ahead, Mython.
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
Every single time he tries to do anything that's actually rangery.
Yeah.
Sorry. I okay. Deep breath.
Okay. So you travel east along Great East Road for at least a couple of hours before the sun starts to set, and you decide to make camp. You are across from the Midgewater Marshes. You know for a fact, Mython, this is probably not the safest place for you guys to make camp, but really you don't have much choice unless you continue to press forward or you turn back to Staddle. What is the choice you'd like to make in this particular situation?
I'm sorry, say that again.
You have three choices. Make camp here on the south edge of the Midgewater Marshes, not the safest place to be, knowing that there are trolls wandering around them. Do a forced march and continue east past the Midgewater Marshes through the night, or turn back to Staddle.
I mean, we should probably press on through. We don't want to camp in the marshes. But what does the rest of the group think?
I agree. I think a forced march, at least for this night, wouldn't be terrible.
I agree. If
Okay.
not now, then when?
Forced march, though, that would give us, a level of exhaustion?
No, you have to make a DC 15 fatigue saving throw, which is a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. And if we fail, we get exhaustion.
You will get exhaustion, yes.
Okay.
But if you do that, you will be able to travel 2 hexes through the night.
Right. Yeah, let's press through.
All right. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. One of them is driving. Okay. All right. So everyone go ahead and make a Constitution save.
Con.
Zurich is driven.
He wants that box.
I do.
I will say, I don't need as much sleep as everyone else. even though my con save was a 4.
All right, so it looks like Eucalio. Goldie, what did you roll, Goldie?
Not great.
All right, so Goldie, you take a point of exhaustion. Eucalio, Mython, and Marigold. 4 of you. 4 out of 6 of you. And who wants to roll for the horse?
Well, I would say it's my horse.
All
Wait,
right,
no.
cool. Whose horse is it?
No, it's Mython's horse.
It's Mython. Mython, go ahead and make your constitution save for your horse.
Does the horse get a bonus?
The horse gets +2.
Apples left?
I do have apples left.
So just go ahead and roll a d20, Mython.
Off-brand Eriador.
And just a knockoff. That's
Yep. It's the, Mom, we want Aragorn. We already have Aragorn. Aragorn.
You have Aragorn at home.
Yep, Aragorn at home.
So Mython, can you roll a d20 for me, please, to see if the horse is exhausted as well? Yes, it is. All right, so the horse also has 1 level of exhaustion. What that means, the fact that this horse is kind of dragging all of you, you can't continue a forced march while it's exhausted.
Will it be able to recover from exhaustion doing normal amounts of travel, or do we have to take a whole day or something?
You'll have to take an 8-hour rest to recover a point of exhaustion.
Okay. Gotcha. That's fine. We got the extra hexes we wanted.
Okay. Are you posting guards? Oh, no, you're traveling through the night. So do you guys press on the next day then? Or do you take your 8 hours and just kind of hang out during the day and then travel again at night?
I think we should just keep going and then rest at night. What do you guys think?
Hold on, sorry. Journeys in Lord of the Rings are tough. You do not recover exhaustion until your journey is done.
Okay.
You're going to be stuck with this
So that
exhaustion.
would be when we get to Rivendell.
Or someplace safe along the way if you can find someplace safe.
Slow and steady wins the race. Let's
Yeah, because we've already sent the message.
in low gear.
Yeah.
I hear Weathertop has a nice view.
It's not necessarily safe, though. From what I hear.
Okay, just let me check this here. All right, so you're traveling the next day as well. Get that. If you continue to do so, you'll get to Weathertop by the end of the day. Do you want to do that?
Alright. I'm fine with that. Isn't
Sounds
the
good.
Forsaken Inn somewhere near there?
It is near there. It's actually a little past it, closer to the last bridge.
Gotcha. Okay.
But since you have not rested yet and you're continuing to, it's just essentially still a forced march. I need you guys to make another saving throw.
I need to double check. Can Rhymes of Lore be used on saving throws?
I was looking, and I have a +2 to my fatigue saving throw. I didn't think
Okay.
a 10 would make a difference.
No, you need 15.
Rhymes of Lore can be used for a saving throw. Okay.
So can your
Oh, hold on.
fellowship points. So
I have advantage on saving throws, fatigue saving throws.
oh, there you go. Okay, so roll one more for the last one, and roll with advantage on this one too.
Also, speed is doubled for the purpose of calculating travel pace.
Ooh.
For the party?
Yeah, since if he's guiding it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Sorry, I keep missing like the class features are very involved in this game. There's a lot to them.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
All right, so
Pod save.
I'm cashing in that point of inspiration I picked up from pipe smoking a bit ago and haven't had a use for it.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
But you know what?
I think I'll do the same.
What I'll say then, with that extra movement, you guys might want to reconsider the continuing next step, because by the time dawn hits, you guys have reached Weathertop.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, if we're getting, because that was the thing, is we were going at the same speed as them and we had to make up time. But if we're actually going faster, I don't think that we need to go through that day.
Yeah. And since I failed my second con save as well, that would help me.
I thought that was your re-roll for the first day, or for the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah, it was. It was like I still
Gotcha.
ended up with exhaustion on that first day
Okay.
if we push through.
Then yeah, I'm fine with, because we were planning on stopping at Weathertop anyway. I'm fine with stopping there at dawn instead of riding the day. If you
Yeah.
will let us roll that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So you are now at Weathertop.
Yay. Succeed by technicality. It's my favorite kind of success. Oh, you're muted again.
Thank you. Who, if anyone, is going to be watching? By the way, your horse and your cart cannot make it, obviously, up to Weathertop. So they're going to be down near the bottom someplace.
Should we leave somebody to keep them safe? Or
I'll take first watch.
Is there
But-
like some sort of like
also-
a place that we can tuck the horse and cart away?
You could hide the
At the base.
cart in the brush, the horse. That looks like a pretty steep mountain.
You know, like maybe like an alcove of rock or something at the base. Or
What are we going to
like that.
Weathertop for? Just to rest?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could rest at the base.
If I remember from the book, there's a little alcove on the north side of the... Well, I wouldn't know this, so I guess it doesn't matter.
I was going
Well-
to say, could we use old lore to try to remember if there's any hidden nooks and crannies about the base or access to the actual ruins for something like a horse?
Sure. I'll just have one of you roll with advantage, though, instead of having you all. So who wants to make that roll?
Technically, that would be somebody who knows this area. So who would that be?
Kaliel,
Lydon.
Idon.
Anybody who might have read about Weathertop.
In the Lord of the Rings.
Well, no, but I mean, like,
with the stories.
yeah, like the histories of the region would mention Weathertop.
Even Bilbo's stories mentioned it, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
okay with doing the roll for it if no one else wants to.
Well, if I
Yeah,
do
go
it,
for
and
it.
it's good chance that it's going to be botched.
Okay. Well, I will roll my old lord check with advantage. 22.
Nicely done. All right. So there is a place you can tuck the cart and horse out of views. It's kind of like a little grotto almost, kind of behind the tower that is sheltered and out of sight. So
Bill made it there. In the future. Future Bill.
all right. So Turk volunteered for first watch. You guys are resting here for 8 hours. How long are your watches, and who else is going to take some?
Zerk will take a watch.
I will take a later watch. Like I'll do my full 4-hour sleep, and then I will take a watch. And at that
Right.
point, I could technically take, like if we're doing like 2-hour watches or whatever, I can just take the last 2-hour watches because I've already had my full sleep.
Okay. That's what we'll do then. Turk, go ahead and make a perception check for me, please. Are you exhausted?
I am not. I made the saving throw.
Okay.
Huzzah.
All right, go ahead.
Perception. Just normal check, all right?
Yep.
What I was planning on doing is, rather than, a watcher standing out in the open and looking around, I'm going to try to sort of hide myself and perhaps find a little bit of a higher ground to see any approaches, that kind of thing.
All right,
I
go ahead
guess-
and make a stealth check first, and then your perception.
I can do that. And perception.
All right. By the time you guys reach Weathertop, it's basically mid-morning. So by the time you have put away the cart and the horse and made your camp and perked your bedrolls and figured out, maybe had a small little meal, Hobbit's diet is a little thrown off with this overnight travel. But where do you perch yourself? Do you said you want to have a vantage point over? Which side are you looking at? Towards the road, north, east, west? Which side? Oh,
Let us, I would think... Here, let me look at the map. Okay. I would think a safe place to focus attention would be towards the west side, where I could watch approaches from the marshes as well as from the road. I mean, I know I can't be 360. I'm not an owl, so...
okay. You perch yourself behind some rocks. You feel yourself pretty well hidden amongst the ruins. You're not more than 15, 20 minutes into your watch when you see a flock of birds approaching from the south. At first, you just think, just a flock of magpies or, I don't know, blackbirds or whatever. But they seem to be headed straight towards you.
We have a fire going? I don't think anybody said we made a fire.
Nope, we probably had a cold breakfast, to the dismay of the hobbits, probably. But
Or I'll check. So heading straight towards me and flying in an unusual fashion for birds.
it's quite an enormous flock. There must be over 100 blackbirds flying towards you.
Python should know what this is, yeah?
Mython is asleep.
Oh, that's right. Okay, never mind.
I look down at our campsite. We're in a hidden nook. Can I see everyone, or are they out in the open? I don't know what to say.
They are, well, they'll be up like against the rocks or whatever, trying to be not very well hidden, but they're just lying amongst the ruins.
I think the only thing that I could do is try to hide myself better. Just really hunker down rather than... I mean, I see them coming and it's just obviously not normal behavior. Well, I mean, I'm saying that, but of course I have a vision of the Fellowship.
So you've rolled yourself. You won't be able to roll again unless you move.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I was going to try to seek a place under, perhaps like, from my location where I could see things to a location where I cannot be seen. So under a boulder.
Yeah. Go ahead, make another stealth check.
I don't think it's going to really make much of a difference, but...
All right. So you scamper from your vantage point into a more hidden area, maybe underneath some rocks, an outcropping. And within moments, this flock of birds is completely encircling Weathertop. And
Does anyone... Oh, I'm sorry, go on.
Sorry.
I have more description.
No, well, do you want to do anything at this point while they're just kind of like circling Weathertop?
Well, this is going to sound odd. Is there any one of them that's in particular a leader? Oh, the one that was out front, the one that has started the circle, the one that is cawing the loudest.
Go ahead and make either a nature or perception check. No, dirty 20. No, there is no particular one alpha crow. It is just a mass of birds.
Are they actually cawing, or are they just silently circling us?
Oh, they're cawing. It's quite loud.
Loud enough to wake up those that are sleeping?
I would think so, yeah.
Well, Eucalio's not actually sleeping, she's trancing, so... I think as soon as they arrive and start making noise, all I have to do is open my eyes. I just don't want to. But, because I don't want to keep that exhaustion for whatever is going on here. But,
they circle for only maybe about 30 seconds. And then they move on. They continue to head north.
So after they head north, then I'll come down, and I guess I will see who is awake and who's not awake. And say, did you see that? Did you hear that? That's not usual.
Oh, they're all awake now.
I'll just peek an eye open and just say, yes, I heard that. Are they gone now?
And thus ends the first watch.
Yeah, that was only 20 minutes into your first watch, so...
Oh, it'll be 20 up. Wow, I have to make more rolls, right?
You thought only one thing was going to happen in your watch?
Well, you go back up.
Sweet summer child. Oh wait, we're mixing franchises now. Never mind.
All right. But the rest of your watch is uneventful, especially in comparison to that odd flock of birds that flew over you. I believe it was Zurich who was next.
I did say I was taking a watch. Yeah, I could take the next one.
Okay.
So I have 4 hours of sleep. I have half my rest.
You have 2 hours.
Oh, okay. All right.
As long as nothing happens during your watch, you're good. But if something breaks out, it's gonna mess things up for you.
Okay.
Tell me, where are you taking your watch?
As in north, south, east, or west?
Yeah, the road is to your south, and the
I would imagine
marsh-
I'm a nervous dwarf, so I'm pacing. I would imagine I'd like walking the parapets kind of thing around the camp.
All right. Okay, so it's kind of doing a circuit of all
Exactly.
sides.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a
Imagine
perception
like
check.
A mall guard, like walking through the mall. Perception check. All right. Everybody remember what a mall is? Perception check.
I thought at first you said wall guard, and I was like, "That's what you are." And then I was like, "Oh no, he said mall guard. That makes sense
Yeah.
too."
Ooh, I'm peaked. I'm good.
All right. You don't see anyone. By the time your watch runs from like noon till 2 p.m., so like midday. It's a kind of overcast day, as you see in the picture. No traffic along the roads that you can see. No birds. Nothing.
Okay.
Eucalil, please tell me how you are taking your watch.
Okay, now my exhaustion is over now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and I've gotten my rest, so.
Sorry,
All
no.
right.
I'm sorry. I mentioned this before. You don't get exhaustion points back until the end of your journey. This is not.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, this is
My
not a
bad.
safe place. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so let's see. If it looks the way that image looks, I would like to be like up on the tower overlooking things. And having heard, and like people have been reporting what they saw during their watches to the next person, right?
I'd assume so, yeah.
Okay, so knowing that we haven't seen anything along the road and knowing that the birds flew north and we haven't seen anything come back, I'm going to pay more attention to the north than the other directions. Just like, well, what if they were messengers? What if they're going to get someone?
Okay. Can you
Right.
please make a perception check?
Okay. Let me double check and see when I get my Rhymes of Lore are a long rest, and this isn't a long rest. This is a short rest, right?
This is a short rest, yeah.
Okay.
Short rest
All
while
right.
you're on a journey, take 8 hours.
Yes. Okay. Perception with disadvantage because I'm exhausted. I think.
That's correct, yep.
Okay. $13.
All right. So your watch is from 2 until 6 p.m. During your watch, the skies start to open up a bit and a soft drizzle starts descending upon you. It's definitely not a torrential rainfall. It's almost like a mist, kind of as it kind of settles down around you, almost like a fog. But with the 13, as you look northward, towards more hills. Just off to the west would be the edge of the Midgewater Marshes. It's hard to tell at this, with this light and your fatigue, but you swear you saw movement at the edge of the marsh. It looks like it's moving towards you.
Okay. Does it look like it's moving quickly? Because it took us a while to get from over there to here.
It looks like it's moving, well, not terribly stealthily, because otherwise you wouldn't have seen it, but it is taking care to move. It's not like rushing towards you.
Gotcha. Well, I guess I'll keep watch on it for a while to see if I can get a better look at it as it gets closer, knowing that like we're not under threat of like immediate ambush.
Okay. This happens, by the way, near the end of your shift. So you guys are all coming to the end of your rest.
Mm-hmm.
It is probably, from your vantage point in this distance, probably about a mile off.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll probably be where you are. No, definitely within half an hour.
Gotcha. Well, as the shift is ending, I will like wake everyone up with pointing out like it looks like there's someone or something approaching from the direction of the marsh. And I'll like point it out for others to see if anybody else can see something better.
I'll let you all make a perception check if you like. Those of you who are exhausted will be doing it at disadvantage.
Nice roll, Goldie.
Do we still have exhaustion? Since
You do.
It doesn't go away.
no, we redid, like we rolled back the forced march. Or did
That
we
was
pick it
the
up?
second one that we had to roll for. We had still done the
Ah.
first one.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, everyone made their rolls. Mython, do you want to? Oh, Mython, did you roll? Okay. Goldie, the keenest eyes of the bunch at this time, well rested, little peckish, but you're still bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and you can see across this ruined land clearly a figure approaching it. First, it just looks like shadows moving from rock to rock as it comes towards you. But then you can clearly see that it is a man wearing a heavy green cloak pulled up over their head. But you occasionally see flashes of bright red hair from beneath.
Is Redhead coming around here?
Not that common. You can also see that this individual is carrying a sword at his side, and he has a bow.
I'm gonna look at my thumb. Does he look? Do they remind me of each other?
Yeah, they look like they're pretty well the same equipped.
So it's either one of your friends or one of the fake friends that's trying to lure people into the trolls. Do you know anyone with red hair? And I'm gonna try to like start packing whatever things I have in case we have to run. I'm getting my dagger out too, just in case.
That is a good question. Does Mython know a red-headed ranger?
Do you recall at the very beginning of this campaign the brute of a ranger that the other one wanted to send in your stead?
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha. In which case, Mython will reply, he is a ranger, but it is uncertain if he is here to help us.
I'll take my dagger out. And I'll just keep it in my hand. I'm like, okay. Should we? Is it still approaching? It's like beelining.
Maidon, should you and I descend to get to the horse and cart and intercept him, see what he wants? We don't
think
know
that-
for sure that he's here for nefarious ends.
We should at least go to greet him regardless of his intentions.
Exactly.
Okay. You won't be able to take the cart because this is very rough terrain. You'll smash the cart if you try to do so, but you can take the horse.
Well, I just meant like we have to go down to the bottom to like collect them for further journeying anyways. So I just meant like descend the hill, intercept with him as we're like getting ready the cart, I guess. And if they're not in conjunction that way, maybe some folks get the cart ready while we are acting as intercept. That way, if we do have to run, we're ready to run.
All right. So who's getting the cart ready then?
No one
Well, I can help with that.
Zer can help as well. I'll go with you.
So there's not much to do with the cart. I mean, the only thing you really need to do is attach the horse, and if you're taking the horse to intercept him, then the cart's not going anywhere. So,
Do we have to take the horse to intercept him, or can we just go on foot?
oh, you can certainly
He's
just
on
go on
foot,
foot.
though.
He's on foot. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking of going on foot so that they could hitch the horse and cart and be ready.
Okay. That's cool. All right, so it's just Mython and Eucalia going out to walking out to greet this particular ranger, and you call his name to be Turgost. Mython.
Okay.
All right. So as the rest are attaching the cart, breaking camp, preparing the horse, the two of you walk down and greet him. This is him here. I'm putting him in the journal.
So I remember. I'll have my hood up again.
Excuse me.
Okay. He sees the two of you approach, and as he was making his way to Weathertop, he was being very mildly stealthy, just kind of hiding behind rock to rock. But he sees you walking out towards him, and he stands up straight and walks towards you. Hand on hilt, but no weapons drawn.
Hail, Turgost, what brings you to Weathertop?
He looks at you. I could ask the same thing. Weren't you and this elf supposed to be someplace else?
I'm deferring to Mython. I'm letting him speak first.
Sorry, I was writing a quip in the chat. Say that again.
Aren't you and the elf supposed to be someplace else? What are you doing in Weathertop of all places?
Trying to think what he means by that we should be somewhere else. Like he knows that we were sent on a mission.
Maybe he doesn't think that we're supposed to be back yet.
Yeah. I'll just say, our mission takes us east of Bree. Weathertop is a ideal place to camp.
In the middle of the day? Why would you move during the night in these treacherous times? Perhaps the elf would be safer with me.
No. He just says it plainly.
I think I'm perfectly fine where I am. Thank you.
It's going to make some comment about knockoff Aragorn, but
He doesn't know that, though.
Discount Dunedain.
Yep.
As well, my lady. Should you change your mind, I will be close by.
If you want to join our journey, then just say so.
I am afraid I cannot unless you desire to be so. I am looking for someone. He turns to Mython and asks, have you seen Malor recently? He's gone missing.
Malor, that's Terrymac, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I have not, but I fear that he has met some unfortunate end.
I see. And you can clearly see him looking at your sword.
I mean, he can look all he wants.
That's when you're supposed to explain why you have it, because it seems like you killed him right now.
The elf speaks truth.
I intended out of character, but I don't mind either way.
You see his grip on his sword tightening a little.
Be still, Turgos. I did not kill him. The sword came into my possession, and now I have to remember where I picked the sword up. I'm sorry, it's been
The assassin, or the guy that I killed.
That's right. Yeah, the one on the cart. Okay.
Yes.
That you shot right in front of me.
Holding it for a friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
I took this off the he was a Dunlending, wasn't he?
Yes.
I took this off of a Dunlending. I do not know how he came up upon it.
You can see him raise an eyebrow at a Dunlending this far north.
I thought it odd too. But there are many odd things afoot in these parts of late.
I can
Indeed.
vouch for his story. I was the one who felled the Dunlending he retrieved the sword from.
He bows to Eucalia. Of course, my lady. It does not surprise me that you would have to do the job that your protector should have done.
He does not have to protect me. He chooses to. And I choose to let it.
I must admit I never did understand some of the decisions that the elven folk make. But of course, that is your prerogative. Where are you headed now, Mython?
Where the lady directs.
And where does the lady direct?
Question to the DM here. Our mission, how secret is it? Would I think that it was okay to divulge that information to another member of the Dunedain?
I'm going to leave that totally up to you. You have all the information you have. You heard Gandalf's words. You know what he's asked you to do.
Yeah.
It's your call.
And he's insulted elves. So, I'm just going to say, I don't believe that this quest we are on is something you need concern yourself with, and therefore our destination is also none of your concern. If you had chosen to join us on this journey, then that information would be provided, but you have not.
Who all is present while this conversation is going on?
Just the two of us.
Okay.
Of course, my lady, I did not mean to give offense. I was just wondering if perhaps we could share the road for some time. And perhaps I could offer you my protection in lieu of your lack of any at the moment.
Disregarding your insult to your fellow Dunedain, I say again, I am capable of protecting myself. However, I would say if you wish to share the road, do you have any mount? Because we are moving faster than on foot.
No, I do not. I must roam the wildlands, and such a mount is of no use to me. You plan on taking the Great East Road, then?
For the time being, at least.
He looks at you at Weathertop, and head looks west towards Bree and east towards the East Misty Mountains, and says, "Would it be too presumptuous of me to guess that you are headed back towards Imladris, then?"
I ask again, why do you need to know this information? If you have information on the road, then tell us.
It is simply because I am heading east myself.
I will just turn to look at Mython of just because I can tell that he doesn't necessarily trust this guy, but just kind of like deferring to him to just be like, I mean, he's gonna find out. I'm not saying this. This is like the feeling of he's gonna find out. Should we just say?
Out of character, our Mython does not think we should share anything with this individual.
Okay.
So,
Well, if you give that look to me, then
yeah.
I will just turn back and say, I am sorry, but I believe that we should part our ways. Our quest is important. Your quest is important. And if we meet up again later, then so be it. But if not, I wish you luck on your journey.
He bows deeply too and says, "As you wish, my lady. Please, be safe." The shadow
You as
grows
well.
dark over these lands, and I fear for your lack of protection.
Ikaliel just smiles, makes no comment, and just turns to walk away, kind of proving that she's just like, I don't feel like you're a threat to me. Just turns and walks off.
And which direction are you walking?
I'm walking back towards Weathertop because I'm assuming like back towards the base of Weathertop because that's where the horse and cart are.
Okay. And Mython, are you following?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's going the same direction. So
Yep.
kind of awkwardly,
Yep,
he
I
just
figured he would just follow us.
he's
That's
just
why I was
following.
like, we can't keep this information from him, but it would be
As-
too much effort to try to deflect his, to try to lose him in a big open field.
Yeah, be a little difficult. As you're walking, you feel his hand kind of just touch your shoulder, Mython. A word, brother.
All right, speak, brother. And he he says brother with a hint of not sarcasm, but I guess a bit of irony.
Okay. He waits until
Contempt.
Eucalio walks off. Do you want to stick around Eucalio, or because he's intentionally waiting for you to leave?
Oh no, I will continue walking. I don't even turn around to see what's going on.
Okay. Mython, you play a dangerous game. You are but a pawn in that elf, for that elf and her schemes and all elven kind. You may not know this, but they are mustering. Have you not seen the signs?
Who are they?
The elves of Rivendell. Now, who would they be mustering against? One must ask.
Against whom have they historically mustered, Turgoth?
Well, of course, the evil,
They do
but the
not-
evil has not shown its face here in hundreds of years. I tell you, Mython, they intend on taking Eriador for themselves. They are not who they seem to be. They work in the shadows. With Mordor, I'm sure of it.
Jeez. Yeah, he'll just go. He'll not go off, but he'll say, like, what nonsense is this? The elves have guarded these lands alongside us for millennia.
You may think my words are nonsense, but go to Rivendell and see for yourself. You see the armies they're building the weapons that they construct, and ask yourself, who are they going to fight? Why have they moved to a footing of war? We should not be caught off guard. Open your eyes, Mython, and choose a side. And with that, he just kind of pushes you off, past you, and starts walking towards Weathertop.
Mython will resume following Eucaliel, and he will brush past Turgos, and he will not swerve to miss him.
You're gonna shoulder check him?
Just a bit, just a little bit,
Okay.
as he passes him by and catches up with Eucaliel.
All right. In the meantime, the rest of you have hooked up the horse and the cart. You guys are ready to go, just waiting for Eucaliel and Mython to return. Eucaliel, you're not going up to the top of Weathertop. You're going around to meet them,
Yes,
right?
I'm going around the base.
Okay. And Mython, you're following her?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, you notice that Turgos is making his way up to the top of Weathertop. He's not following you anymore.
Well, that's fine. That just means if he decides to follow us, he's going to be even further behind.
All right. So you guys have all loaded up your cart. You're ready to go, and you head east.
Yes.
All right. It doesn't take a perception check to look over your shoulder, and you see Turgost standing on the battlements of the ruins of Weathertop, watching you.
Yeah. I knew he would know. I guess I'll just now that we're out of the distance of him, I will just ask either before we get to the cart or after we've gotten to the cart and are on our way. Ask Mython what they spoke about.
He believes that the elves of Eladris are mustering for war.
Honestly, unless things have changed since I was there before, I don't think they are. I wish they were. I could take part in a war, but no. If only he would see them. And I think Eucalia will say this kind of like, if we are already back at the cart, she will say this kind of quietly to Mython, of just saying, to me, the others at Imladris, they are a defeated people. They are leaving. They are not bolstering their courage for war. He's so completely wrong. Even if there is a war to be had, I don't think they are preparing for it in that way. But why would he try to turn you against us. Are there many Dunedain that feel this way?
I don't know how many, but there are some. A strange paranoia seems to have overtaken them.
Well, it's up to you, but I feel like we should warn Elrond about that if he doesn't already know. If the Dunedain cannot be trusted without question, then he needs to know.
Agreed.
So when you two of you are having this conversation, are you at all trying to be quiet and private about it, or just gonna
I'd say hushed.
hush?
Yeah, I think
Hushed words. Yeah.
when Eucaliel started talking about how she thought the elves were defeated, she definitely was trying to stay quiet. So like from that point onward in the conversation, was trying to be quiet.
All right. If anyone wants to like have a chance at overhearing this, go ahead and make a perception check. Like, if you're exhausted, it'll be at disadvantage. Sorry, Zurich.
I know, right?
Okay. So during the late afternoon now and into the evening hours, you'll be traveling again for most of the night. I guess it'll be my phone again. Go ahead and make another traveling check for me, please. And while Mython is effectively guiding you down the Great East Road and watching out for things, is there anyone else doing anything, like keeping an eye out or singing a tune or something?
Yes.
I can do some hunting.
You would not be able to do hunting while you're moving.
Yeah.
Suppose not.
Question, is Mython exhausted?
Yes, so that'd be an unfortunate disadvantage for you, Mython.
Sorry.
He just does not want you to do ranger things, man.
That's still a good roll.
All right.
I would try to be on watch, like as he's guiding us, especially because of that, what he shared about the other Dunedain. I would be like keeping an eye out for, someone following us or things like that. Still kind of concerned about those birds that went north.
Okay. You guys are maybe about halfway along your journey here. You've traveled 2 hexes, and it is probably at this time maybe about 8 p.m. Sun's about to set. It's still kind of miserable, wet, raining. When your bird flies back to you, Eucaliel.
Okay.
Kind of lands on your shoulder, flaps its wings, shakes the water off of it.
Yeah. I'll feed him a treat as a thank you for such an urgent journey. And I'll just ask him how it went. I'll just say, was the message received? Are they preparing?
It just says, danger ahead.
Oh. Did you make it all the way there, or have you returned? Like, does he still have the note?
He still has the note. He did not make it all the way.
Oh. Okay. Then I'll ask him about what the danger is. Like, tell me what you saw.
At the inn, men, dwarves, scheming.
Okay. And how far away from the inn are we now?
You'll reach that inn by the end of this journey, by the end of this segment.
Travel segment.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Then I will share with everyone that apparently Fandel came across some danger up ahead, that there are men and dwarves that are scheming, he says, up at the inn.
And you'll know this to be the Forsaken Inn. It's the last inn on the road.
Yep.
Scheming to do what?
He's a bird. Give him a break.
The Forsaken Inn. That's not very good marketing, is it?
I think I will thank him for warning us and tell him that he can rest on my shoulder for a bit, but that the message still needs to get to him, Ladris. Because I figured, like, oh, he saw this and turned around because he wanted to let us know, but the message still needs to get there.
This gives you
But I'll give him some water and...
Okay. He caws a little bit, eats and drinks, and takes a little bit of a nap before setting off again.
Absolutely.
So, question, where on the map then? I mean, the hexes don't have any numbers on them, but say the Great East Road where it's written there. Are we at any of the particular letters of where that is? Say the capital R of road, or are we at the...
Give me a second and let me check here. Great East Road. So 1, 2. Right now, you are in the hex that says East, or had EAS.
Okay.
And he's saying that the inn is at the hex that says OAD of road.
Yeah, so we're 2 hexes away.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, there's one hex between. Yeah.
Yes.
It's time to go off road.
Can't really go off road well, and we're going to have to rest when we get to that point anyway, unless you want to rest now and then travel later.
Well, the best way to trap a trap is to get them on their own trap.
And how are we going to do that?
Well, maybe we make it look like the wagon is full of us, while the rest of us sort of try to move ahead along the sides.
Who is going to stay with the wagon?
Whoever's most stout of heart.
Nari overhears this conversation, and he scrambles up towards you and says, "You mean they're still there? Dwarves and men? That's my caravan. Jari will be there for sure." And then you hear your raven say, "Jari, Jari."
So Jari is there. I guess I'll ask the raven, now that I know that. I'll ask the raven if he saw the other elven horse there.
Nope. And just shakes his head.
Okay. Then Jari may have been dropped off there, and the rest continued. Why would my friend describe your caravan as danger?
Nari says, I don't know. That's nonsense. Well, they're my brother, they're my family. Well, the merchant's a bit of a lout, but I mean, the rest are okay.
Insight check. I want to know if this guy is just fooling himself or is he in on it?
Jari
Bites his
Jr.
tongue. Yeah.
All right, let me make make an insight check with disadvantage. Oh, of course not.
All right, you give him a little bit of a side eye, but you can just see his an eagerness almost on his face. Like he's close. He wants to see his family and friends again.
Nari, question. Who told you and Jari about the treasure? I don't know if you've told us that.
Well, there's this ranger folk person. I remember him, a monster of a man, flaming red hair.
I'm just gonna slowly turn to Maivan. How many redheads do we know? And I'll just turn back. Does he travel with a caravan?
No. He was just he traveled with one other man. Didn't get a good look at the other one though. But no, won't ever forget this man. He was a beast of a man. His hair was on like his head was on fire with all that red hair.
We have a picture of, was it the messenger? Sketch of the visitor.
That's
That's
different though.
That's different. All right.
Yeah.
Zerk will check the messenger and say, nope, not him.
But we know what the Dunedain, like we know what the Dunedain that I killed, what he looked like. But I don't think that he would have been fooled of like be able to pass himself off as a ranger. But I will pass like a meaningful look at Maidan and just be like, so not only are they inciting dissent against the elves, but they're clearly working with those assassins. If not, they are the assassins themselves.
So it would seem.
If we see
Nari's
him again, we
eyes
should
are just,
probably deal with him.
Nari's eyes are just wide, and he's looking at assassins.
Don't you worry about it. However, if we are going to be talking, if we trust you that your caravan is not dangerous, then you need to vouch for our safety.
You'll be safe. They'll see me. I'll tell them that you rescued me.
And we are here to get something back from Jari. Do you promise to ensure that we get it back? He took something from us.
He took something from you?
Zerk noticeably grimaces that we're tipping our cards.
I didn't say what it was. I just want to make sure that if we go there, that he is obliged to be helpful. And if we don't like what he says, we don't go there.
If Jari is there, we go there.
Jari's my brother. He ain't no thief.
I'm sorry, but we have proof. So
He would have done anything to save his brother.
So I'm not saying that he's evil because he stole. Because perhaps he was doing it for you. I'm just saying what is ours must return to us.
I mean, if it rightly belongs to you, then I'm sure he'll do what's right.
Now I know you're his brother. If you can't swear that you will ensure that we get it returned, then I don't think it's safe for us to go there.
That business between you and Jari. I mean, I can't make no deal on his behalf.
We will go there and we will get it straightened out.
I agree. He's my folks and my family are reasonable folk. Oh, my uncle, you might want to stay clear of him, but they're reasonable folk.
I have a feeling that they will have something planned for us when we get there, but at least now we know. But at that, should we rest now and head there when they're not expecting us to be there? Or should
I say
we
we
finish our day?
We keep an eye on it and go there well rested, without threatening them. In the middle of the day.
All right.
All right. So you guys decide to go ahead.
I'm gonna turn to Eucalia. Could you ask your bird, however you do that, if there were the men, what they were wearing? Like, did they have cloaks? Or
Armor.
can he see what he can see what they wear? Yeah.
You're asking to see if they were like the assassins that we saw?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will I will gently poke Fandel, who has fallen asleep on my shoulder, and just say,
Sorry, and I'm gonna give him a little, well, from very down, I'm gonna try to give it a little cracker or something that I probably had in my pocket.
Vandal wakes up, kind of shakes his head again, blinks a bit, and when you ask him the question, he just responds, "Dirty merchants."
okay, that doesn't sound like assassins. And I share that, and I tell him that Goldie there has something for him to eat. Technically, he's not domesticated. He just gets along with me. So that's why I'm like, hey, she has food for you. Please be nice.
You don't take it. I'm not gonna be offended. Sorry, woke you up.
He'll hop over and grab the piece of cracker and hop back onto Eucalio's shoulder and try and fall asleep again.
Yep.
Priorities.
Food.
Food.
Sleep.
Sleep and food. That's it. That's all we need.
All right, so you guys are making camp 2 hexes away or 3 hexes away from the Forsaken Inn.
We want to make camp at the time when, after our rest, it'll be daytime when we get there. Does that make sense?
Yep, that's not a problem.
Okay.
You'll be resting through the night.
Okay.
Are you going to have watches that night? Are you making a fire? How are you making camp?
Oh man, dude's probably gonna catch up with us.
We need a fire. Is the temperature such that we need to light a fire to stay warm?
No, it's actually midsummer still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Same.
advise everyone cold supper again. And
Low key.
yeah, low key, tucked away somewhere off the road if possible, just slightly off the road. And keep an eye out, everyone. And if you see the red-headed ranger, wake us up. Because he is not safe.
All right, who's taking watch?
Hey, did we
First
get a
watch.
long rest from did we get a long rest from Weathertop? No, not yet.
No.
Okay.
You get short rest.
Oh, okay. I got a short rest. I get stuff back in a short rest.
Which kind makes exhaustion go away?
We have to rest at a safe location.
Gotcha.
Can we burn hit dice at the short rest?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
I mentioned I'll take first watch again.
All right, sir. Taking first watch.
Can I watch with Turk?
Certainly.
Or it take a second watch?
If you watch with Turk, you'll have advantage on your perception check, or you can make separate perception checks.
If no one else wants to take a watch, I'll take second watch. Or whatever, but if not, I'll take with Turk.
Sir,
I'll
is that
take one.
Watch.
All right. So, sorry, Marigold's going to take one too?
Yeah, I just, was waiting for everyone else to roger up and...
All right, Marigold, which watch do you want to take? Second or third or fourth?
Oh, I'll just, fourth would be fine.
All right.
Marigold, do you have exhaustion right now? Because I can double up with you.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, then I will. I can double up with people on the last 2 watches. Because my sleep will be done by then.
Okay.
Because I have disadvantage, so.
Yeah. No, with 2 of you there, they'll cancel that disadvantage out. So that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So Turk, you're taking first watch. I believe Goldie's taking second. Eucaliel, you're taking third on your own, and then fourth, you're doubling up with Marigold. Okay. Turk, can you describe what you're doing on your first watch?
Again, going to be the more of a stealthy watcher, trying to anybody approaches to do any harm, I'll be positioned to sort of sorry, my brain's dead. Sort of trap them, I'll see anyone coming and I'll be there to ensure that I surprise them.
All right,
So
go ahead.
stealth.
Yep, stealth and then perception. Very nice. Very nice indeed. All right. So, is there any particular part, like you're looking back the way you came from more, or just in general, like where, like, are paying attention in any particular direction more so than any other?
I don't think that's a good idea. I think, I think I'll put myself up into a perch in a tree. I think if I remember looking at the map, we're beside a forest now.
There's probably trees around. Yeah, there's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in a crook in a branch, and looking both ways up the road and around everybody as much as possible.
Okay.
Concentrating on the road, I think that would be the smartest thing.
All right. When you take your watch, it's still quite early, actually. The sun is still up. It has not set yet. It's probably around 6 p.m. It's going to be like, you guys are going to be here for 12 hours. So each watch is going to be like three hours long. About 2.5 hours into your watch, you see someone coming down the road from the east. It's a man.
And how is he approaching? Is he just walking down the road casually, whistling as he goes? Is he approaching stealthily?
He's not being stealthy. He's just kind of walking. He seems to be enjoying a walk along the Great East Road, heading west. towards Bree.
So human. How is he attired? Well attired. Rough dress.
He's wearing traveling clothes, but they're not, I mean, shoddy or worn or anything. They're still okay. Just obviously travel worn. He's not. Let's see. Do I have a picture of him? 1 second.
Picture.
What
Yeah,
time
it
of
seems-
day is this?
It's probably 6 p.m. You guys are all probably still even awake at this point, just kind of finishing up your dinner and stuff, just sitting around.
Actually, I think you said it was going to be 2.5 hours in, so that'll be around 8:30.
8:30, correct? Yeah. All right. So I'll show you a picture of him. Oh, that's not the right person. Sorry about that. Not a woman, it's a guy.
Disregard.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That wrong one. Yeah, okay, misclicked by one. That's what happened. Yeah, it's the guy. He's got a bit of a beard and kind of dark brown hair, and from what you can tell, he looks a lot in stature and physique and traits as Mython.
This place is crawling with rangers.
I know. I was like, I think, yeah, I thought that was going to be the case.
Can't swing a dead cat. Okay, so we're off. The camp is off the road, so I'm seeing this fellow. As he approaches, I've already rolled a good perception. It's not like he's looking for our camp. He's not looking for us.
Well, you are hidden.
Yes.
Your camp is not. You cannot hide your horse or your cart. You kind of pulled off into one side. You kind of found a nice little place, but he can still spot you. In fact, he does spot your camp. He does not see you, but he spots the camp.
And his action is?
His action is to walk towards it, not in any threatening way. He just seems curious as to who's camping on the side of the road.
Okay, well, I'll drop down. Try to surprise him. I'll drop down in front of him.
All right, he is startled. He takes a step back and puts his hand on a sword that he has at his side.
I'll put both my hands up. I'll put both my hands up. Say, "Whoa, long shanks." No need to draw. No need to draw steel.
He looks at you and looks past you at the camp and looks a little more wary this time. He still has his hand on his hilt. You wouldn't happen to be a manner of brigands now, would you?
When have you heard of Hobbit Brigade?
Well, I was thinking that myself. You're a little short of stature there to be a brigand. But I've heard how wily you folk can be.
I'll take that as a compliment.
And he lets go of his hilt and puts his hand out in a handshake for a handshake. He says, "My name is Hirlonen, and who might you be, Master Hobbit?"
Yeah, could you get the spell that for those taking notes?
Sure.
I'll ask him to spell it.
Oh, I said it wrong. It's Hirlinon.
We're on our way up the road. Are trying to follow brigands who have stole something from us, in fact. Could you have
really?
perhaps you've run into them. They may be just in front of us, like about a day ahead, perhaps, maybe less.
Well, I've just left the Forsaken Inn just a few miles back, and there's not but a merchant caravan there. Dare say they look like brigands to me.
How many were there?
Oh, just some dwarves and some men. I believe they're headed east or west, to Bree. But they had
Two dwarves?
Well, there were a number of dwarves, but their wagon was broken, you see, and they've been stuck there, actually waiting for repairs, and looks like they've got a new wagon now. So, I imagine they'll be headed off to Bree.
So more than two dwarves?
Oh, I believe there was a family of them. What is your business with these dwarves?
Well, we believe, no, one of them has taken something from one of our friends, and I'll look over my shoulder, and is Zurich awake? And
Am I within earshot? How far
yes.
away is the...
Yeah, you're all within earshot.
Zurich will scurry over and say, Dirk, why are you burdening this kind stranger with our problems? Sir, how has your traveling been? Try to change the subject. We don't need to spill the beans.
So, travels have been quite quiet. Honestly, I've just taken to travel and see the world a bit. I'm from Gondor, you see, a long way from home. Just thought I would take the sights in. It's a beautiful place you have here, but my understanding was that the Shire is quite a ways west of here, and to see so many hobbits so far away from home is indeed a curious thing. Are all of you after these brigands?
I'll pop up a little bit. Some of us just take into traveling too. It's pretty fun. Once you get used to sipping on the ground, though, and eating weird. But, you know.
Yes. He smiles warmly when you say that. He looks around your camp and says, but you have not even made a fire. How is a hobbit supposed to eat?
Oh, I am pretty much kind of like cooking out here. We don't have the right stuff. And just to do it haphazardly, no need for that.
Well, do you require any assistance in that regard? And he pulls out a little satchel from around him, and inside he has like some flint and steel. And it's just like,
Oh, no.
certainly make a fire for you.
We're good with that. We know how to make a fire. We just don't need one. We're just going to bed. How long ago did you leave?
Oh, it's been almost a day's journey for me. Actually, I was about to make camp soon, and now that you're here, would it be too much if I imposed myself upon your generosity and joined you in your camp tonight?
Zurich smacks his forehead, turns around.
As he said all that, did I believe a word of what he said?
Go ahead and make me an insight check.
I was going to ask him, yes. I was going to ask him also. Someone from far away seemed to have some insights into hobbits. How could that be?
No, he seems like a very warm and friendly guy. He says, I've heard so much about the Shire. In fact, that is where I was headed. The hospitality and the food, I understand, and the weed. Oh, the weed is something I am terribly looking forward to.
Is it still light out?
The last rays of light are about to fade.
So he wouldn't make it to Weathertop.
No.
Zork again will try to change the subject. So, tell us of the news of Gondor.
Oh, what is there to say? It's a glorious city, not one you will ever find anywhere else in Middle Earth, I'm sure, at this time. Although I do understand that this part of the world had its own fair share of castles and whatnot in a previous age. And as a historian myself, I am curious and eager to find such artifacts and ruins and experience and see them for myself before I return to Gondor.
Eucalio finally peeks an eye open when she hears him say he's a historian. Like, okay, fine. I will wake up.
Oh, what do you know of Weathertop?
Weathertop. There was a. It's in ruins now, from what I understand. But what was it called before? It was a very famous watchtower in the Second Age. Stood for many years, but you see him lost in thought, trying to remember the name of Weathertop.
Amansul.
Mansul. Thank you. As he looks down at you, Mython, as you stir from your sleep, I'm assuming, or getting up.
Yes.
He sees you and kind of leans in a little closer. Do my eyes deceive me? Are you truly a Dunedain?
I am.
Oh, brother of the North. And he comes rushing towards you and grabs your arm, pulls you up into an embrace.
Everyone's hugging you. What is going on?
Very
I'm
popular.
just, yeah. Mython's popular. God knows why, because he
Teddy bear.
can't seem to actually do anything, but
I thought it was only
he will-
rumors.
he will endure this even though he just woke up and he's like, what's going, what?
Your captain is amongst us. Well, when I left, he was in Gondor.
Do you speak of my lord Aragorn?
Indeed, I do.
How is he?
Well, he's quite the man. He came, joined our ranks, and within no time, he's earned the respect of all the soldiers in Gondor. It's quite an intriguing man, that one.
Yes, very much so.
So tell me, and your name, sorry?
I am Mython.
Mython, it is a pleasure and honor to meet you. Oh my goodness, I never thought I would actually meet a ranger of the north in my travels. And 3 hobbits. And an elf. And he walks towards you, Eucalio.
At this point, yeah, because I don't really lay down when I'm sleeping, so I just kind of look over.
Gonna try to hug her.
You better not.
He just
I'll
bows.
be polite and just say, yes, an elf.
He just does the bow thing and the forehead salute thing.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "My lady, I'm honored to be in your presence. In fact," and he looks around the camp. Indeed, what a strange fellowship here on the roads. Borders of the
You're
wildlands.
sightseers like yourself. Nothing for you to mind.
He holds his hands up. I mean, no quarrel with you, Master Dwarf. forest, making an observation that one does not see 3 hobbits, an elf, a Dunedain, and a master dwarf on the road together every day. 2 dwarves,
And I
and he
often
looks
don't
over.
see a man walking alone in the woods, on the road, often either.
Suppose that just goes to show how well he can defend himself. I will say, though, most of us were heading to our rest, and if everyone here is willing to let you camp with us, then I suggest we all head to our rest. And by the way, Fandel will have already left again, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And
just making sure.
actually, Goldie, can you make a perception check for me, please?
Disadvantage.
Yeah, unfortunately, at disadvantage.
Oh, that's a good check.
18. Well, when you look around and you say 2 dwarves, Nari's nowhere to be seen.
This little bastard. Just like his brother. And I'm gonna just look at Zerg.
Should have tied him up.
Yes. Is the card there?
The cart is still there with the horse, yes.
Okay.
So not
And,
just like his brother, just similar.
He's less skilled.
Hirlinon looks around and says, I'm sorry, tie who up?
Little piggy.
You know, we don't want to keep you, run you late for your destination. Maybe you best be on your way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do apologize if I've given you any cause for offense. Of course, I will continue on and make my own camp further down the road.
Zurich noticeably flustered that Nari is gone. And pissed. His irritability just got turned up to 11.
Gonna try to give him directions to like second corner down. There's a little spot that looks nice. I'll give him a cracker. Like the bird. You wanna take?
He gladly takes the cracker.
And as he's leaving, I'm gonna yell, "Decline the well wheat. That's the one you gotta try."
This, well, I do hope your journey is safe and that you do find your brigands and bring them to justice. And again, my apologies. I did not mean to cause offense. Have yourself a pleasant evening. I'll be on my way. And you can hear him crunching on his cracker as he walks down the road.
I'm gonna turn to Turk and I'm gonna say, "Weird historian that needed Mython's help to remember the name of Weathertop."
Did he have any, like a backpack with anything like with scrolls attached to it, or anything that we could notice that would actually indicate that he was who he said he was?
No, he was traveling quite light. He just had like a messenger bag type thing on him. He has a sword, a cloak. It's really all he had. He was traveling quite light.
To be fair, though, Eucaliel doesn't look like a historian either.
But you were also on a mission. You weren't on a tourist trek.
Yes, well, some people don't let other people out of the house often enough to go on little vacations like that.
So
Has to have important missions for that sort of thing.
the messenger bag, was it similar to the one that was taken off of Unlending Woman?
Go ahead and make a perception check. See if you noticed anything particular about that bag.
Well, I know the bag quite well, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
I really need a perception check?
Yeah, just because it was kind of hidden under his cloak, it wasn't always visible. So I'll give you a straight roll. If you have disadvantage or advantage if you have...
I have no disadvantage.
Okay, so you have advantage then. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, okay, so you said advantage, right? So
Yeah.
my finger fell off the mouse.
No worries.
Doesn't matter.
All right, no, you didn't catch a quick enough glimpse because he only showed it briefly when he was pulling out the flint and steel, and then kind of tucked it away under his cloak. So, unfortunately, you didn't get a close enough look.
And it was a sword. It wasn't a stiletto.
It was a sword.
Okay. Well, I believe him.
Zurich is
Like,
muttering to himself. They know we're coming. Nari will tell them everything.
Yes.
He's beside himself.
Track him. He couldn't have left. What? How long ago?
I imagine
a few hours ago at the
I
most.
imagine he escaped while we were distracted by that stranger.
Well, we have a horse. We can try to run him down.
Assuming he stays to the road.
Well, a horse on its own, while it can't ride super fast off-road, it can still go faster than a person.
He makes it to the merchant caravan before we do. We're done for.
It's a whole day to get there almost. If you want him caught, we can go now.
Zurich nods.
Well, off-road horses. Well, I'm
Four-wheel
still
drive.
very exhausted. So would anyone like to come and aid me in tracking him down?
Zurich nods.
Maidon will aid you. I don't know how effective that aid will be.
Well, we just have the one horse, so she's fine with just like getting Zurich up on the horse with her and then racing off.
All right. I will say you cannot track effectively on horseback, right? Because you got to be looking for signs and whatnot. So if you do try and track on horseback and moving that quickly, it'll be a disadvantage. And it'll be a hunting check.
Okay. So I guess if it's already... So I'm already disadvantaged because I'm exhausted. But then I evened it with Zurich, and now it's just back to being disadvantaged again?
Yeah, it'll be disadvantage.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at hunting, and I don't have exhaustion. I should make the roll. Or I can provide help.
Well, the thing is, if we take the horse, it's going to be disadvantaged regardless. If we go on foot, then you can track on foot perfectly fine. We're just going to be slower. And he's got some time ahead of us. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we take the horse or should we try it on foot?
Horse.
All right.
He wants that dwarf.
All right. Then
So I plan on jumping off of the horse to tackle him.
I will go ahead and let's see. So it's hunting.
It is hunting. Yeah.
Okay. Zurich, how's your hunting? Do you want to make the hunting roll?
My hunting is not good. It's not bad.
Should we actually be saying what our pluses and modifiers are?
Do you want to bring the Hobbit as well?
Well, I mean, I feel like me and a smaller person will fit on the horse, but not me and two smaller people. Or would that work?
No. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have one of you roll like
Gotcha.
animal handling check to see if you don't fall off.
How
kind of
about
thing.
this? Mython, do you have hunting?
I do, yes.
Okay. Why don't Mython and Zurich go? Because I feel like Zurich isn't going to be willing to sit this one out. And so we might as well have, it's going to be disadvantaged anyway. We might as well have somebody who's better at hunting making the roll. And it's your horse anyway, so.
This is true.
So.
That's exactly right. I just looked at the chat.
Yep.
All right. So it is Mython and Zurich. Which one of you is going to make the hunting check at disadvantage? Mython, go ahead.
At disadvantage?
At disadvantage. Because you're trying to track on horseback, trying to move as quickly as possible.
You got this. Due for a good one.
Nope. I could have told you this was going to happen.
All right, you get out onto the road, and you have no idea which way to go, east or west. Just like, I don't know.
Okay, so
I feel like logically we think they're heading east because they would be going to the inn, even if we couldn't find the tracks.
Right.
While they take off on the horse, I'm going to look around the camp and see if I can see dwarf footprints heading off in any certain direction.
Right,
Can I
go.
get a hunting check?
Yep, you sure can.
Hunting, right?
Yep.
Oh! Wow, that dwarf is good. Covering his tracks.
No. All right. Ranger of the air.
Yeah, we just all know. I could maybe ask around to see if there's any animals that saw him leave. At least,
Now, granted, there's a perfect excuse for Mython's incompetence. He did get stabbed in the brain.
Yes, he did. The part of his brain that he lost in that was his capability of rolling high.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want to do? You have a guess as to which direction he went. West. But I don't know. You don't know which way for sure. Zurich? What do you want to do? You're the one that wants this dwarf more than anyone else.
I'm on the back of a horse, right? And did we get to the road?
Yeah, you're at the road, and Mython just doesn't know which way to go.
I say we just head a mile down the road. See if we see him.
East or west?
East. I smack the horse's rump, and hopefully the horse is pointed east.
All right. So you go east for a mile. While these guys are galloping off, the rest of you back at camp?
I mentioned that I was looking for tracks.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I think I would give it a go, trying to see if I could find any animals nearby that I could ask if they saw a dwarf sneaking off from camp.
You go ahead and make that a nature check for me, please.
Okay. Nature to find them, and then animal handling to talk to them?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it's going? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Marigold and Goldie?
Oh. Like, we are kind of next to the road. You mentioned there's like trees, but like how thick the trees are,
Not
or if
not
there's
not very thick at this point anyway.
okay. Can I try climbing up a tree and see in the distance that we can see like any sort of reflection or anything like bushes wiggling or something like up the road or at the road?
All right. Can you make an
Eyeglass.
athletics check to see if you climb that tree? Okay.
Why athletics?
Or acrobatics. I'll let you do acrobatics too if you want.
Okay. I don't know if that's gonna be better. It is? Damn, what the?
You're a squirrel.
Wow.
No, they go. I would prefer to fall off a tree and stab something.
Double nut 20s. Okay, yeah, you're up a tree. And you do find a squirrel nearby that you can talk to. Go ahead and make that animal handling check. And I'll get back to you, Goldie.
Now, would I normally have advantage on the animal handling check or no?
Why would you have advantage?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's only with my bonded companion. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. You ask this squirrel about a dwarf sneaking off, and it just kind of generally points at the direction that Zurk went.
Sure.
Heading in the right direction.
I will give it an acorn anyway, even though I am disappointed. Or I guess acorns wouldn't be around at this time of year, but I will give it something to eat, like a berry.
Okay. Marigold, is there anything you would like to do in this time while everyone's kind of scrambling around trying to find a dwarf?
I'm going to position myself in our camp so I can watch this greeted stranger actually walk off and make sure he keeps on going. And just kind of lay back, relax, and I figure I have to be up a little bit early, so yeah. No time like the present to start getting ready for that.
Okay. Can you make a perception check, Goldie, now that you're up in the tree? And because you got 2 nat 20s there, I'm going to give you advantage on your perception check.
Okay, so regular because I have disadvantage, right?
Right. Straight check.
Better than disadvantage. Not great.
11. So you look another direction. You can see Zurk and Mython galloping away down the east direction. You look west, and you can still see the receding silhouette of the man that visited your camp. So kind of walking off, but no sign of Nari.
As I'm seeing him go that way, I'm just gonna say like out loud to myself, we should have warned them to not trust the red-haired one, unless they're friends. I'm just gonna pop back down, try to remember where the knots are, so I can climb back again when it's my turn to watch.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go check our cart. Is he inside of the cart?
Actually, while you're up in the tree, though, and everyone else is doing their thing, Marigold, can you make a perception check for me, please? All right.
My trend does not stop.
Nope. As you're preparing the camp and just kind of going about your business while everyone else is kind of scurrying off in a panic over this dwarf, you hear a soft, well, you don't hear, you feel a soft tap on your shoulder.
Oh no. I suppose I'll have to turn about.
you are face to face with Nari. He says, "Where did everyone go?"
He went off to take a leak.
I was thinking, he went for
A morning
Everyone actually went
constitutional.
running off looking for you because they think you got lost.
I wouldn't leave you. It's not safe for a dwarf to be traveling on his own out here.
Well, you found a good private tree then, sir.
Well,
Because most of them all started to panic.
Well, to be honest, don't tell the others this, but I hid when that man came into the camp.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you certainly fooled everybody.
You know how I said there were two rangers? One with the big red hair, and the other one I couldn't see? But I heard him speaking.
Oh, right, yeah. That one.
Yeah.
Was that the man's voice?
It certainly was, ma'am.
Oh, well, goodness. Jeez. I think everyone's running down the road east. We'll have to catch up.
Well, some of us are still close to camp. It was just the two that rode off.
Mm-hmm.
So, Marigold will scamper down to the road and just take a look and see if anyone's visible, and give a holler if she can see Eucaliel or anyone else kind of still within sight.
Yeah, I'm still in the area.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not far
Eucalio,
from the camp.
And you see Goldie up in a tree. Yep. So the three of you are.
I'll gather back up.
There's four of you there, and just the two of them have gone galloping off east. But Nari's just standing there and says, I'm awful sorry. I didn't mean to cause such a fuss on my account. But that was I think you did good sending that man on his way there. He sent me off to that troll hole. Well, not a good man. Not a good man.
Should you have warned at least one of us before you hid, instead of letting this dangerous man just traipse into our camp with us?
I didn't know if he was going to stay or not. If he was going to stay, I probably would have stayed hid.
Yeah, to protect yourself. What about us? If he was so dangerous you needed to protect yourself, would he not be a danger to us as well?
Yeah, but you rescued me. I'm sorry, man, but I'm not the rescuing type.
You don't need to rescue us. If you tell us a person is dangerous, we will protect ourselves. It's not actually a good idea to immediately draw weapons on everyone strange that you meet. But if someone already knows they're dangerous, that's important information.
No, I'm sorry. And he looks genuinely upset.
Yeah, no, Eucaliel is actually pretty ticked off because, like, he doesn't care that he went and hid. He's just like, really? You just didn't care about anyone else's safety. So, I will go to the road and whistle for the horse.
All right. Can you make an animal handling check?
Okay.
Apparently.
Okay. Let's see. Do I get advantage because the horse would have known the whistle that I use?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's not bad.
All right, that's good enough for Zurich and Mython to hear your whistle piercing through the wildlands.
Yep. And I feel like Mython, at the very least, might have heard me doing that before, and the horse certainly has. So.
Hopefully Mython was the voice of reason. Zurich was a little hot under the collar there, jumping to conclusions.
All right, as you all... Sorry, go ahead.
So sorry. Yeah, thank you. So the conversation then that was just that Ari just revealed about this fellow. I think it's, well, if it's not obvious, he's meeting up with the red-headed fellow over at Weathertop.
Yes, but there's not much we can do about that.
Mython, is there something you wanted to say as well?
No, I mean, now that we know who that guy is, it's not like Turgos doesn't already know the composition of our party and roughly the direction we're heading, so he's not going to be able to give them too much information.
Okay.
We did make mention of... Well, no, I think we told him that as well. That we made mention to this guy that there was people at that inn that had wronged us in some way. So, like, they know that we're going to try to stop there, probably. But again, there's no way that they can get there before us. So, that doesn't mean much.
All right. As everyone regroups and comes back to the camp, Nari is hiding, like literally hiding behind Marigold. Looking rather sheepish.
Yep.
And just says, I'm sorry.
Was that a question or a statement?
I was about to say that too. You either are sorry or you aren't. There's no question of whether or not that's the case.
Oh, I am most certainly sorry, but...
Zurich will walk to Nari. I would say his boiling point is down to a strong simmer. He's gritting his teeth and put his hand on Nari's shoulder and say, "We need to stay together." That's it.
Nari just nods his head, just kind of nods his head, but he's not letting go of Marigold.
Let's make a camp. Keep an eye out if that stranger returns.
All right.
Resume camp. And, stay guard in case that stranger returns.
All right. Goldie, can you make a perception check for me, please, for your shift? All right. So the night has settled in. Your shift will go to about 11 p.m., maybe around closer to midnight. Nothing untoward. No more travelers along the road. Just hear the night sounds of the forest nearby. Not much else. Crickets. Who was next? I believe it was Eucaliel. You were on your own for the third shift.
Yes.
Can you please
Zurich
make a
is
roll?
shoulder to shoulder with Dury. Not keeping his eye. Never more than an arm's length away.
All right.
Okay. Let me make my perception with disadvantage. Not bad.
All right. Your shift as well is quite quiet. Nothing to report.
All right. I believe the last shift I was working with Marigold, right?
That's correct. So I know, Zurich, you wanted to be like sleeping next to Nari, but Nari is always within arm's reach of Marigold. So
You guys
And
are all
we're-
just huddled up.
Happy little family there. Yeah.
All right.
But I will go and wake Marigold when it's her shift.
All right, Marigold, can you please make a straight perception check for me, please?
Because I am assisting.
And this is why I don't volunteer for things.
It's okay. We must all struggle through our low rolls.
It's a good thing Zurich is sleeping next to Nari, because I need Zurich now to make a perception check at disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
Yeah. All right, and Eucaliel, you too can make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. And is mine my normal perception check, so it's at disadvantage?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Uh-oh. My thing froze. There we go. Okay. Perception. Average.
Well, morning rolls around. Zurich, the first thing you notice is that Nari is not there.
Oh, goodness.
Should have tied him up. Should have tied him up.
I will look around the close vicinity.
Do you guys want to go through the whole spiel of
I mean, honestly, if he wants to wander off, he can freaking wander off. We have to leave. If he's just hiding, he gets left behind.
Okay, so you guys are just not going to bother looking for him. You're just going to break camp and head east.
I do want to look around and see if there's like a little struggle behind to where they were or something.
All right, go ahead and make that. It'll be a hunting check, actually, since you're looking for signs of struggle.
That's one of my best ones. He's beating you guys. We're good.
Should my bond give it a crack just to see what happens?
It'll be a disadvantage.
I don't
and you
I
notice
don't
as
think
you're
I can
looking. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just
Go
going to say, I don't think I can actually roll that low because I have an actual skill bonus.
Okay. The problem here, you're going to be at disadvantage as well, but also in Goldie's attempt to look for tracks, she has basically stepped over everything.
Uh-huh.
So go ahead.
Yep.
Damn.
Ah. What do you know?
What
Nice.
do you know, indeed? Despite the fact that
helping.
Goldie had completely wiped out most of the tracks in that area, as she stomps around looking for tracks herself, you managed to find what Goldie could not. Signs of a brief struggle. It looks like Nari was dragged away, and you see the footprints of two men.
Oh, jeez.
The stranger saw Nuri, but didn't let on that he saw Nuri. So he went and got his buddy, another ranger, came
Well,
back.
even if he hadn't seen it, we mentioned him.
And also,
Yeah.
they saw us right
Yeah.
away in the wagon. They saw him.
Yeah. They want that dwarf. They came back and abducted him.
Which direction do they go? Do they go to the east or back to the west?
They're headed west.
God dang it.
Fuck it. Zurich utters the dwarven equivalent of fuck it, and let's go. Let's go east.
Yeah. It's... we can't... I mean, Eucaliel will agree. One person's life isn't worth what is at stake here if we don't catch up to those other people.
He was as much of a bargaining chip as he was a liability. We know what we need to do.
Yep.
All right. So you head off east towards the Forsaken Inn. It's very early in the morning, so by the time you get there, it'll be about noon. You guys will make it there in very good time with the guidance of Mython. Actually, I'm going to have you make a travel check just to make sure you don't get them stuck in the mud on the way.
All right.
As we're riding, I'm gonna look at Zurich. Do you think they left Jari with the box? Or once they had the box? Because that's what everyone's looking for.
You mean the school teacher? Did the school teacher take the box away from Jari? I don't know.
We won't know until we get there.
And Jari was pretty intent on getting that gold for himself. Knowing Dwarven greed, he would be hard-pressed to give it up. I don't know what his connection was to the school teacher.
They
But I do know
had his brother, though.
I don't think he cared too much about his brother. I think he cared more about the box. I think he cared more about the treasure that it led to. And the story about their father being in debt, who knows if that's true. All I know is that Jari would trade his life for that treasure. And for that, I pity him.
So, Andrew, because of my Warded Lands feature, that is a 15.
All right. Yeah.
Because
So
I
you
had
know,
that. Yeah.
excellent. No problem. You are making good time, and by noon, you find yourselves approaching the Forsaken Inn.
I'm just gonna say they attacked Marigold's house, where the box was first. Not Jari, but the people that were coming after you. Family's a weird thing. So is gold. But at least
Greed.
now we'll know.
Utter greed. Which Zurich might set Zurich apart from the others of his kin. Does not fall prey to that at least sin.
All right. The Forsaken Inn itself is barely held together. It is in rough shape. You see the shingles, half of them are missing. The other ones are covered in moss or lichen. Windows are boarded up instead of being repaired. There's what used to be a little stone wall surrounding it, all kind of scattered and the stones strewn about the road. There is one lantern lit outside the main entrance. Otherwise, this place looks like it's not even in use.
We don't see any, carts, horses, anything, any sign of people.
Sure, you can kind of, if you see that big archway at the back end of the thing, that's where there's kind of a driveway that kind of goes through that into the back area.
Mm-hmm.
You do see what looks to be cart tracks in the mud, along with footprints.
Well, this place
I would like
is...
to stealthily go ahead and sort of scout.
Yeah.
All right. Scouting the exterior of the building?
Well, I think there's enough eyes on that right now. I'll go through the arch and
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me, please. Nice. You make your way through the tunnel to the back of the building, where you see an old well, some more outbuildings, and amongst them you see parked the cart, Marigold's cart.
Banks honey cart.
Exactly. Can you make a perception check for me, please?
Oh. Dum dum dum. Oh, nope. Almost went for persuasion. Nope, almost went for performance. Oh.
Nice.
When we need it.
It's still rolling for me. It's still okay. Natural 20. Nice. Okay. What you see as soon as you emerge from the tunnel in the back here, you immediately see Marigold's cart. No sign of the horse, though. Flies are buzzing everywhere. There are flies buzzing, and they mainly seem to be concentrated above the well. And there's this horrible stench coming from the well.
I don't want to look down the well, do I? If I look down the well, am I going to have to roll the shadow point?
Do you want to look down the well or turn around?
Somebody's got to look down the well because I'm pretty sure that the horse is down there.
Oh, no. They're the horse is not down there. I think there's going to be some dwarves down there. I'll look down the well.
All right. Clearly, you can see at the bottom of this well, instead of water, it's kind of muddy. It's not very deep, maybe only 20 feet deep. You can see in the shadowy bottom the decomposing body of a man. I need you to make that charisma saving throw for me, please, with advantage.
Jeez.
I didn't. Now, before I do this, I didn't use. I think I had saved up a pipe. We had a pipe gathering. Does that do anything for me?
You'll have inspiration, so you'll have advantage on your saving throw if you want.
But
Exactly.
But I already do because I'm a hobbit.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a leggy server.
Super slow. 15 just made it. So with that, you kind of look down, you see this body, and you immediately have this urge to vomit as you see it's already well decomposed, well on its way to being decomposed.
So not recently then. No, that's not just the last day or two.
It's been... Actually, go ahead and make a medicine check to see if you can figure out how long this body's been down there.
I mean, it would... Okay.
Yeah. All right. With a 15, you and your background and what you do for a living, you kind of used to seeing like dead things in similar types of situations.
I agree.
This body has probably been there for about a week.
Okay, so I should have said this before I looked down the well. There's nobody else around, right?
No, you're alone.
Okay, I go back and report.
Okay.
Tell everybody. Try to save them the gruesome details, but so looking down, decomposing body about a week. Anything? No clothes on him? Anything? Any distinguishing? Well, I mean, he's well decomposed. I was going to ask if he had distinguishing marks, but that's not going to be there. But anything about any kind of other objects down there? A sword, a belt, a leather jerkin.
It looks, from what you could tell, with that hold on, what did you roll? Actually, can you make a
20.
Oh, 20, okay. With that perception check, actually that was... I need to make a separate perception check to see how well you could see the body at the bottom. That initial perception check was just to notice that there was something off with the well.
Besides the flies and the smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't good. Oh! Hey. I was going to say it's not going to go well.
Nice. All right. With that, yeah, you can tell this individual was wearing traveler's clothing, a cloak. You can see a brooch on him, though. And Mython, do you wear a brooch at all?
Yes, it's the star brooch
Exactly.
that they all wear.
You do see the star. That same brooch that Mython wears.
We know what happened to Terry Mac now.
Poor guy.
So, yes. I go back and report.
Well, not only do we know what happened to Terry Mac, we know that the Dunlending man that we dealt with in Bree came from here. Because this is where Terry Mac was dealt with. They wouldn't have carried a body around for a while and then dumped it in this well. This is where he was killed.
It would seem so.
Is he on a mission that we know of? Or that you know of?
I don't think that Mython would be specifically aware of a mission that he was on. Just, he would have an idea of like the area that he generally ranges around.
Not to mention they tainted
and
a
we knew he
perfectly fine
ranged
well.
near Chetwood. Because Harry knew him well.
So, kill everyone inside?
If there is anyone inside, I don't know why they wouldn't have taken the cart with them if they're still here. Or if they're not still here, but...
Cart broke. They said that, was the cart broken?
So, yeah, so you saw Marigold's cart, and it looks like it's filled with all sorts of manner of crates and barrels and whatnot. And beside it was a cart with a broken axle.
And there's no beasts around?
There's no horse around there, no.
How are they expecting to move the cart somewhere?
Maybe
My
they're all dead inside.
Don, question for you. Is it important to get the brooch back? I'll be willing to go down.
I mean, we need to get his body out and bury it. That was going to be my next thing. After do we kill everyone inside, then let's, give him a proper burial.
Okay, yeah. So sword and torch first and then burial?
Yeah.
There's nobody inside, though.
We don't
we
know
don't
if
know
there's
yet.
anybody inside. We have to find out.
To the front door.
Well, do we want to go in weapons drawn? Like,
I mean, at least weapons drawn, if not, kill on sight. But they may want to talk to us.
oh,
Uh-oh. Who'd we lose?
Goldie.
Oh.
Looking from the outside and at this picture, it looks like there is a second floor, or at least like an attic space. Does it look like it's the type of inn that would have it's like an upper walkway that opens down to the bottom in the middle, or no?
Probably not. That would be too fancy for a building like this.
Okay.
Eric will look to see if there's smoke coming from the chimney.
There is. People are inside.
All right. Well, they probably know we're here by now, so I guess we should just go in.
Zurich. You're a stout fellow. Can you give me a leg up?
To look in the window?
Yeah.
Sure.
Put me up onto the roof.
Sure.
I'll look through the window. So acrobatics check.
I will heave Turk up to the roof.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and make an acrobatic check to see how well you can scramble up onto this roof, because it is pretty rotten and difficult to navigate.
See how he does before I decide to go up there.
Nice. All right, so you are up on the roof, Turk. What would you like to do from this vantage point?
Listen first. Do I hear anything from this? There's no glass and there's no shutters, so there's just a big opening there.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and roll a perception check just to see if you can hear anything from inside.
Advantage?
Nope. Straight. All right. You do hear what sounds to be subdued voices speaking in the language you do not understand.
But I would know if it was Elven, or I would know if it was...
It's Dwarvish.
I hear Dwarvish.
You do.
I'll look down at Zurich, and I'll make motion like a long beard, and I'll point inside.
Zurich will nod.
There
So
are
I'll
old
wait.
men with beards in there.
Old men with beards.
ZZ Top. ZZ Top's in there. All right.
I'll turn to Mython and mouth dwarves. And then toss my head towards the door.
So I'll wait at the open window. I'm not going to go inside. I'll let what transpires on the ground floor. But whatever their plan is.
The rest of you, are you still kind of standing outside on the street there by the cart, waiting for Turk to report in?
I would say Zurich's a little bit closer to the wall, of maybe a couple steps away from the wall where there's no window, as opposed to being on the street.
Yeah, I think Eucalio's been trying to figure out whether or not it's worth attempting to enter from multiple locations to kind of surround them, or whether it's safer to stay with numbers and just force through the entrance. Like the front entrance.
Okay. And what is Marigold and Goldie doing at this time?
Well, everyone's going all like tactical and infiltration, and Marigold's really kind of out of her element there, so she's kind of bewildered and has probably sort of faded along, back towards the rubble of that old stone wall, just sort of watching what everyone else is getting up to and kind of tossing furtive glances, like, okay, what's happening? Sort of confused.
Great.
Goldie probably the same, and I might try to like.
Oh no.
Wait. No, I'm here. I'm just thinking. My brain's on the pause. Is Eucalio going in a separate direction? Sorry, I did not hear the end of that.
I was just trying to kind of like tactically think about whether or not it would be better idea for our group to split and enter from multiple locations. Like some of us enter from the back, some of us enter from the front. You know, Turk coming
Yeah.
in from the roof. That way we're not all bottlenecked at the front entrance and possibly picked off like flies. But also splitting up, each group is more vulnerable because there are fewer people to stand by them. So that's what I was doing, was just kind of like, examining the sides and looking around and thinking about like, well, who could pair with whom, that kind of thing.
The more nimble character should probably go through the upper story while the more tankier ones go in through the bottom.
I would go through the upper story because of the fact that I have a ranged weapon, but my acrobatics isn't great and I'm rolling with disadvantage, so there's no way I'm going up on that roof or I will ruin everything. So I'm entering from ground level, I just don't know from where.
We draw them outside. Why fight in the confined space?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, we could just plug up the chimney.
Oh,
I love that idea.
oh, wonderful.
Smoke them out. Smoke them out. That's an excellent idea.
Sorry, Goldie.
They
Go
still
ahead.
have multiple exits, though.
Then we'll have to cover them.
Yeah, could we try to bar the back exit?
Okay, wait a
And
second.
just wait at the front?
Wait a second. I just want to hear what Goldie has to say.
No, Goldie is panicking, just as Marigold. And are we sure they want to fight? Because I don't think they might have just been tricked the same as the rest. I mean,
Well,
I'll help you. You help me, I'll help you. But should we ask?
How exactly do we know that the people inside this cottage are responsible for what we saw in the well?
Well, we don't, but we can still smoke them out
Right?
and then confront them out in the open.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Yep.
we don't have to kill them when they come out the front door. We can talk.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
You
That
hear
just means that we're not stuck being bottlenecked.
mid-sentence
They
there as you are all discussing this tactical approach on how you're going to smoke these people out. The door opens with a creak, and an elderly man steps out and looks kind of quizzically at you. He looks at you and
Sorry.
"Can I help you? What are you doing just standing there in the street getting wet? Come on in. This is the last homely home you'll find on the road before you head east. If east is the way you are going."
I think Eucaliel smirks at him calling the Forsaken Inn the last homely home.
Just like look back.
Who you got in there with you?
I got some guests already, but I got room for more. It's up to you. Stand out in the rain all night if it won't bother me none.
So, and this is out of character, but my concern is that there's been a body rotting in his well for a week, so he can't not be aware of it. So
Let's call his bluff. Let's ask him. Let's show him. Say, come on out here. I got something I want to show you.
yeah,
But maybe not crowd him, because then he's just not going to be willing to go check.
Yep, Zerk will say, come on out here. Something I want to show you.
Oh, you're muted.
He looked up at the rain, then looks back at you and says, "It's rather damp out here. Well, come on inside. Got some warm beer, drafty rooms."
All of this rain is going to float something to the top of your well. Why don't you go take a look?
Oh, you mean that dang corpse someone dumped in my well about a week back?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Tell you what, if you manage to fish that thing out, I don't care what you do with it, just fish it out, I'll give you a free room and board for the night.
How did you manage for a week without a water source?
It's been raining, dear.
So you've been putting buckets out and the like.
Gotta do what you gotta do in a pinch.
I mean, we were already intending on doing that. I don't see why we can't do it.
Oh, you go and take care of that corpse in the well and come back in.
How did the body wind up in the well?
Let's getting mighty cold out here. You go take care of that body and come back in and I'll tell you all about it over a pint. And he looks at the hobbits and says, "Oh, you three, you're in no shape to be walking around with corpses. You three folk, little folk, come on in."
Two. Only sees two.
Oh, two. Yeah, sorry. Two little folk.
So I think Mydon will take a step forward with his hand on the hilt of his sword and say, "Sir, if you do not answer my question this moment, I will have to conclude that you had some part in that man's demise."
He looks at you with this kind of deadpan stare and says, "Look at me. Do you think I could take on the likes of you, a ranger of the north? Seriously?"
I never mentioned that he was a ranger.
Oh, I know your kind. I know Terry Mack. He used to frequent this place quite often. He's a friend of mine.
And yet you seem completely... what's the word I'm looking for? You don't seem terribly upset at the situation.
God damn right I'm upset. There's a dead body in my well.
A man you called friend a moment ago.
Indeed, that too. But, I mean, a man's got to drink, right? Now listen, I didn't kill him, but a couple of brigands came by, cut him down, dumped his body in the well.
Where are those brigands now?
Long gone. I don't know where they are now.
And what of the cart in the back?
You see, it belongs to a merchant. You know, do you mind if we talk inside, maybe? You can
I do mind. It is perfectly fine to have this conversation here.
He pulls his cloak around him as much as he can. It's worn and threadbare and has lots of holes in it, but he does the best he can. He says, "That's a merchant caravan passing through. They've been stuck here for the better part of a week because their cart broke down. They got a new cart just a day or two ago, but a horse thief came by and took their horse, so now they're stuck again."
Stuck here?
No, I mean, it's not much to look at, but it sure is better than being out on the road in this rain.
I would like to speak to these merchants.
That's what I've been trying to get you to do. Come inside, get warm, have a pint.
Derek stands up a little straighter. Might be happening. It's them, he'll whisper.
And he looks at the lot of you and he sees you holding on the hilt of your sword, and he sees the dwarf and kind of narrows his eyes. Says, "You know, this place isn't much, but it's still a roof over your head, and it's got some good ale and food to fill your belly. I won't be having any trouble in my establishment now."
You've already had trouble in your establishment. Or
Well, I
at
don't
least
want
on its
any more.
premises.
I'm not looking for any more. Yeah, I know you folk. And he's looking at you, Mython. Your trouble follows you wherever you go.
I think Eucalia will speak up at this point. She has her hood up, by the way, so it's not noticeable that she's an elf. She'll speak up at this point and just say, "Does trouble follow them wherever they go, or do they go where there is trouble?"
Don't matter to me which way around it is, miss. Trouble is trouble, and I don't want any of it here.
Well, sometimes trouble finds you, whether you'd have it or not, but I think it's time to go take care of that ugly business in the back, and Mython will turn and start walking around to the rear of the building.
Derek will walk towards the front door.
All right. What are the rest of you doing?
I think Mython will gesture for Zerk to come with him.
Should we go to both doors?
Strong.
Should we cover both doors so we don't come in one way, they go out the other?
Well, we can take up position on the side of the building so that we can see both the front and the back.
And I'm assuming some of us are actually going inside.
I just want
doing that.
I just want to get out of earshot of this man because I don't trust him.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But as soon as we are out of earshot, Mython will say, he'll reiterate the idea to block the chimney and smoke them out. We can cover, we can bar one of the exits and cover the other.
Mm-hmm. All right. Zork's ready to throw down.
All right.
But he'll where are the others? Are they still up on the roof?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I want to know where the hobbits are.
Oh, I followed outside. I did not go inside. So if there's a huddle, I'll probably try to get close.
Yeah, when Zurich started working towards the front door, Marigold would have started coming up the lane some. And then when he went around the side to talk to Mython, she probably would have moved up the lane further to get an angle to see the two, but not really approach the building further. So probably still right outside that crumbled wall, just further up, further east along the road.
If Mython can see where everyone is, he'll summon them to a little huddle.
Okay. And sorry, where is Eucaliel?
Well, I thought that we might be going inside, so I was kind of like hovering by the front entrance. But if he wants us all going to the back, I will go there. Otherwise, I was just gonna like stand watch by the front if we're not going in.
Okay. And Turk, you're still around the front of the building on the roof?
Whatever that window is.
All right. Do you want to look in, or are you just kind of still hiding below it?
Do I hear voices near the opening of the window?
Yeah, they're kind of below you. So do you want...
I'll just sort of just one eye around the corner just to look inside whatever room is there. Am I looking down into a room, or am I looking at a second floor room?
Well, as you look in, there are actually no... The second floor is gone. It's just like... there might have been a second floor at one point in time, but it's rotted away. So you're looking basically down onto the main floor from where you are. But before I tell you what you see, I just want to verify Mython, Zurich, and Goldie are going around back. Marigold is kind of staying around the front by the laneway, by the crumbled stone wall. Eucaliel, you're kind of near the front door, but kind of making your way to the back. Am I correct in that?
Yes, but like in a, moving slowly because I thought that Mython wanted to keep an eye on the front, so I'm like kind to split that difference.
All right.
The idea was to go to the corner of the building, where you would turn the bend, far enough away to be out of earshot of the innkeep to have that conversation, but still be able to keep an eye.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can go to there if that's what he wants.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm moving far enough up the road so that I can at least still see everybody.
Okay.
So when they go into the back courtyard, like if they're visible through that doorway, I would be, through line of sight for that door.
Excellent. Okay. Turk,
But,
and then... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, once we've got a critical mass of our group gathered, then Mython would like to explain the plan of stopping up the chimney. We would need to find some kind of brush or something to...
Should be enough moss maybe already on the shingles.
Yeah, to just jam down in there. And that could be done by... Well, Turk is already on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
He seems to be pretty nimble.
Okay. So just so I'm clear, like the way you guys are you're walking towards the laneway that takes you to the back. That's away from Jack then. Jack has invited you in, but you're going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although was it Goldie who just like scrambled up the tree like a squirrel?
Earlier, yeah.
She might be the better choice to climb up and plug the chimney.
Okay.
I'm already on the roof.
Yeah, and Turk doesn't have disadvantage.
That's true. Yeah.
Turk, can I get you to roll a perception check for me, please, as you peek over the edge and into the room? Nicely done. Inside, you see a number of people. The tables in this room are like picnic tables, long picnic tables, benches, with benches in front of them. And you see in one corner a huddle of dwarves, two older looking ones, but one of them looks like has incredible deformities on his face, battle scars of some kind. With them is Jari. And they're talking to each other in hushed voices over a pint of ale. And you occasionally look over their shoulder at the other group of humans. One older man dressed clearly as a merchant in like nice velvet type robes, although they are quite faded and worn. And they're all looking a little haggard after having had to spend a week in this dump, unable to move. With him is what looks to be a guide, almost like a ranger, but is clearly not Dunedain. Has more angular features, softer features almost. And with them is a woman. And around the woman's neck, she's wearing Zurich's amulet.
Is it the teacher?
It is not the teacher.
How old is the woman? Wait, who is seeing this?
This is Turk.
So, okay, so I assume he'll relay it, but maybe I don't know that detail yet. You don't have to answer that.
No, you do not know yet. Well, I'll tell Turk though. I mean, she's probably 30s ish.
Okay.
Not terribly old, but not young.
So, two groups. Are they conversing with each other? Dwarves on one table, humans at the other table?
They're not sitting together. They're at opposite ends of the room. The dwarves are speaking to themselves in Dwarvish.
Just two dwarves, right?
Three. Two older
Three,
dwarves. One old dwarf, one battle-scarred dwarf, and Jari.
Okay.
And then there are three others on the opposite side of the room. The merchant, a guide of some kind maybe, and the woman wearing the necklace, or the amulet.
Two humans.
Three humans. 2 men, 1 woman.
2 men, 1 woman. Okay.
Yeah.
And not that I'm going to wait there for a while, but with my perception of a 20, do I have a sense that the two of them are like giving furtive glances at each other? Or is there any animosity between the group? Any sign of that? They're obviously not sitting together, so...
Yes, and from what... if Nari's story is to be believed, that the dwarves are indentured by this merchant, it's kind of corroborated by the fact that they continuously give the dwarves continue to look over their shoulder and give them dirty looks.
Okay, so I'll look down at Zurich's nearby.
They're kind of passing below you, heading towards that archway leading to the well.
So are any of them looking up at me as they walk past below me?
I'll say sure, yeah.
Zurich, 3 long beards. Somehow I'll try to convey in simple terms, 2 male humans, 1 female, and then I'll make a motion of like a necklace, just say chain around neck and amulets, like hold a circle with my fingers at the chain.
Gotcha. Long beards. Got it.
And Turk, as you... Go ahead.
No, and humans. Like, so 3 and 3.
As you're sitting up on this roof and making these signals or trying to communicate what you're seeing back down to your fellowship below, you feel a cold gust of air blow through the window behind you. And you turn to look over your shoulder back into the room, and you see the woman wearing the amulet with 2 fingers of her right hand, her index and middle finger. She's touching the amulet. Her eyes are closed, and emerging from it, a ghostly figure. And it is coming straight, emerging from the amulet, and it's coming straight for you. And that's where we will end tonight.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Wow.
So, you caught up to Jari at least. You know where the amulet is.
Someone's wearing it, and it contains some sort of spirit or curse. And who is this? Who is the ghostly thing going after?
Turk.
Because it knew Turk was spying on it. It has a sixth sense. That's a good cliffhanger.
Yep. Turk, unfortunately, at the beginning of next session, you'll be making another saving throw.
Oh my gosh.
He's been pretty lucky with those so far.
Yeah,
Oh,
lucky
I've got
today.
4 shadow points. I've got 4 shadow points.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times have you had to roll versus how many times you actually got?
He just
Shadow
used
points.
one. I
6
think.
times I've had to roll.
Oh, well, then. Strike what I said.
All right, then. So that's today's session, and we'll regroup in 2 weeks when you guys execute your tactical plan on raiding this poor man's inn.
I'm gonna make a small wager and say we don't get the amulet back, but we'll see.
I mean, if we kill them all, we can absolutely get the amulet back.
Except for the fact that it's haunted. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah, but
Cursed or
it was
something.
already haunted, and you had it for a while, and nothing happened.
I didn't put it on.
Then continue not putting it on.
Right.
Like,
Gotta find
nothing is
another
happening,
bug.
you have to wear it.
Are you guys seriously considering committing murder on these strangers?
Hey,
It's
we
not murder
haven't
if it's
attacked
self-defense.
anyone. Exactly. If we are being attacked, we will defend ourselves.
We just talked about smoking them out so we could confront them in the open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but I think Zurich is ready to kill Jari. I think he's had enough.
Well, we'll
Now,
cut
if
it.
these people actually were the ranger assassin bandit people, I would feel no qualms about fighting them to the death because they are serving the enemy. But
All right,
but
so
these
if I can, I
guys-
don't want to delay anybody, but Andrew, stupid player questions. If this is stuff that I should have picked up but missed, there were 2 people that coerced Jari and Nari into the troll cave. One of them was the stranger that came upon us at camp. He was headed west. And who was the other? Who was the other
the
person that was with you?
redheaded
Ranger.
that we spoke to at Weathertop.
Okay, redheaded ranger at Weathertop, and human stranger that walked past us. Those were the 2 that coerced Jari and Nari into the troll cave.
Yes.
And what was the relationship between redheaded ranger and Terry Mac Ranger? Terry Mac Ranger we found in the well. What was any relationship between those 2?
They're also rangers. Like, they are both legitimately rangers. I don't know
Legitimately
about the
rangers.
third guy, but those 2 were both legitimately rangers.
Okay, stranger did not appear to be legitimate ranger, but the other 2 were legitimate rangers, but that doesn't necessarily mean they were in cahoots together. Redheaded ranger and Terry Mac were rangers, but that's pretty, as far as we know, that's where the relationship between them ended. We don't know if they knew one another.
The third, the stranger, he was from Gondor, was he not?
That's what he said.
We'll call him.
Yeah.
We'll call him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's what he said. We don't have to call him Gondor guy.
And
Right.
Redhead Ranger said that he was looking for Terry Mac.
And
Okay.
so he might have known him because, like, some rangers know each other, but we know that it's very likely that Dunedain man that I killed was the one that was involved in killing Terry Mac. However, he was either the one who killed him or those 2 guys killed him, and the Dunedain or the Dunlending guy was with them, and they gave him the sword. But I don't know why they would do that. So, because he was the one who had Terry Mac's sword. which Mython has now.
Wait, who had Terry Mac's sword?
The Dunlending
Red-
man that I killed.
At the very, very beginning. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And redheaded ranger who was looking for Terry Mac, I'm guessing, caught up with Terry Mac and did him in. I don't think any of the knuckleheads in this cottage would be able to take out a ranger. That's just me speculating.
The guy at the cottage said
player.
that it was like a couple of quote unquote bandits
yeah.
or something that attacked
Oh,
him,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it
yeah.
could have been
I
them.
don't know if I believe him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe
like
guy.
maybe they were in disguise or whatever, but yeah, like it matches. If it really was just a couple, that it could have been those two guys who took him down as well.
We could ask for a hair color.
Yeah. All right, so we're at the Forsaken Inn, which is east of our encampment, not quite at Last Bridge.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we are still heading east.
Quite a
Yes.
So we're
few
heading
times.
east. Gondor guy was heading west. We ran into Redheaded Ranger at
And we're pretty
Weathertop,
sure that
which is
Gondor
west.
guy and Redheaded Ranger came back to our camp while we were sleeping that night
To abduct
and
Nari.
took Nari. Yeah.
Is it Nari or Nuri? Nari. Nari and Jari.
Nari.
Nari and Jari. All right, so they took Nari, headed west. And Weathertop is west of our current position.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're planning west of here because I don't know what their final goal is.
Mhm.
But yeah.
So these three dwarves that are inside the building, if they're indentured dwarves, chances are they'll, if we can, somehow, what's the right word?
Negotiate with the merchant or deal with the merchant. We can get them free, but
Well, yes, but I mean, we've got to go. You don't know this, but I mean, obviously the humans are going to. That's going to be a fight there, but hopefully the dwarves will come to our side. But we need to.
probably not until we deal with the humans. I'm
No,
just
I'm
hoping that
thinking
they just stay out of it.
I'm thinking the dwarves. I'm thinking the dwarves are the muscle for the merchants, right? I'm thinking if we go in and we take out the dwarves, the human merchants will, give up, right? The human merchants aren't going to be able to defend themselves. They're probably, especially the battle scarred dwarves, they're probably using the dwarves
as muscle.
heavies. Yeah.
So if we go in there,
Jari
they're
probably
gonna
recruited
ask
the
them to
two
fight.
muscle dwarves at the request of the human merchants, who were probably not.
Or his
combat
story is
types.
true and they're part of his family.
And they're very old.
Yeah.
I think the dwarves don't want to be there. If they don't want to be there, they
Yeah,
might
but
not.
even if they don't want to be there, they are indentured. So if the merchant tells them, defend me, they're gonna have to defend him.
Zerg can convince them otherwise.
Yeah, but Zerg's got no sympathy for Jari. Even if Jari does have a sympathy story that he was being somehow blackmailed or something by humans, Zerg's sympathy quotient for
He's
Jari
used up
right
all
now
of
is
your
like,
sympathy.
yeah, exactly.
Well, they played him because she's the one with the amulet, not Jari.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, good
Right?
point.
Yari's misunderstood, man. This really.
Yeah.
So Jari was looking for gold, and the wearer of the amulet was just looking for the amulet.
Yeah. And if we believe Nari's story, the reason why Jari was looking for gold was to pay off the indenture for his family, which, if he's given them the amulet, one would think that it would be paid off, but they're still there.
But if they got their horses stolen, they couldn't leave.
I don't think the horse was stolen, because that horse, like, it wasn't stolen, it was just taken, because that was the schoolmistress and the messenger. So they just kept moving with the horse.
Yeah, but they had to have a horse, and Ted was with a horse or with a cart when they took it. So Ted
Yeah.
has to be somewhere. And they're beast too?
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people involved with a lot of stuff, and I have a feeling they're not going to want to talk it out before something happens. So
Well, something already happened for Turk, Apollon, and the
exactly.
rest.
Like, I'm more than happy to be like, hey, let's clear all of this up. But if you pull a weapon on me, I'm not going to be like, I
Nope.
won't draw my weapon until we talk. No, I would just die.
Didn't Turk already take out a white though, or a wraith?
He assisted in fighting
did.
one, yes.
Well, as legend has it, I think Turk took out the
Oh yeah,
wraith
single-handedly.
I think that's what I heard. Yeah.
Hmm.
First blood. He drew first. Well,
He
they don't
did.
have blood. They don't have blood, but you know.
First ectoplasm. Yes,
Yes.
he drew first ectoplasm.
Awesome. All right. Well, good game, everybody. Thanks,
All
Andrew.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Have
See you
a
in a
good
couple
one.
weeks, guys.
Later,
Good
guys.
night.
Thanks. Stuff.
Bye.
Bye.